we're getting
I
false
think
readings.
it's alive.
Yeah?
I think so.
Because we're getting false readings.
It's alive.
And I don't want that. I don't want that to interrupt our show.
No.
Oh, that looks like us.
We're here.
We are here.
Are we?
We made it.
We made it indeed. All right.
We are.
Look, but before we get too heavily involved in things, I just want to say right off the bat, I mean, that was a great show. But at the end of it, I don't know if you all heard what was going on. We were getting set up. Anne-Marie Siegel saying that this was, Ryan saying that this was the dream team. And then Anne-Marie saying that this was, I guess, the greatest gathering of Star Trek analytical minds. That is entirely too much to live up to. So
the bar is way too high.
It is entirely
no.
too high. So thank you, but no.
We love you, but please lower your expectations accordingly.
I didn't bring popcorn. I just brought a drink. But go on.
Good for you. We're gonna need it.
Yeah, I got the party cup, but there's water in here. I promise.
There you
this
go.
time.
Yeah, I'm free promo for Harris Ranch, but there you go.
Why don't we go around and introduce ourselves, everybody? Shark, go ahead and start off. Tell us who you are.
All right. Well, I am Charlynn Schmiedt, everybody. You might have listened to a podcast I did several years ago called To the Journey. To the Journey.
To the Journey.
Did that for 4 years. And my co-host Tristan Riddell and I went on to do a show called Punch It. And now we do Lower Decks live commentaries the day that new shows drop. And I also do a live stream about Babylon 5 with Norman Lau called The Zocalo. And we did a panel just last night. We did a little special called Deep Space Franchises because we don't have much Babylon 5 news right now. So we decided to talk about the first 10 episodes of Star Trek Prodigy. And it was a blast.
I'm going to come right out and say it. I'm a big fan of your work. I'm also a big fan of Norman Lau's work. I've seen all his podcasts.
We have that in common. I'm a big fan of Norm too. Yes.
I see Norm all over the place. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Bree, tell us all about yourself.
Bree Boehlke. I am from Phoenix, Arizona, originally from Chicago. I spent my childhood in Chicago going to a lot of Star Trek conventions in the 80s and 90s. If they were in the Chicagoland or Milwaukee area, my wonderful parents took me to those. So I was spoiled rotten by my parents with Star Trek. It was definitely our family show. I've been a fan for quite a few years now and pretty much obsessed with Janeway. So, I'll have some things to say about the award ceremonies tonight, but overall, just happy to be here. Don't know why I was asked to join all of you because you are all wonderful, but happy to be here. And of course, I'm representing the Greatest Gen Friends of DeSoto group. So of course, I've got my shirt on.
And I'm sorry, who are they again?
Oh, no. So Friends of DeSoto.
It's a Socratic method. Just go with it. Okay.
We were texting. Well, I shouldn't say we were. Adam Pranica was texting with you on Friday over drinks when we were preparing for the awards. And he wants to start up that podcast, fight again, which doesn't really exist.
It doesn't exist.
It's all in good fun.
I love Adam. I love Ben. I saw them at 10-4 not long ago, and I hope to see them again very soon. Oh, look at that. Hashtag Greatest Gen. There it is.
Awesome.
And Larry, I mean, you need no introduction. You are the doctor in the house, but go ahead and tell us.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for having, thanks, guys, in the last frame for having us. So I'm on the road, and I thought I would be home. So I'm not in Trekland HQ, but I think we've got a pretty good facsimile thereof. But I'm glad we're all here tonight. It was an incredible awards show. I didn't see all of it, but the awards program itself and the nominations have been a wonderful thing. You may know me from a little show called The Trek Files on Roddenberry, a podcast.
Love that show.
We good people work on that show.
Yes.
There's a couple, but I'm a little iffy.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, and then Trekland Tuesday's live on Tuesday. But from those of you who go far back and you've got your original well-worn copy, the Next Gen Companion there, or anything along the way, your communicator magazines, that's was good enough to do that. Another thing you may have known me for was a little show called Live Support Live, which thanks to Virtual TrekCon, we had a bigger platform than usual as we did our finale on Saturday morning, and it was an awesome time, and a lot of people or their
Yay.
days. So that will live on for specials and live panels maybe, but all the archives are up there. But every edition of Virtual TrekCon, Ollie and I had our Saturday morning slot. So I want to shout out to everybody, all the Seventh Rule folks. So yeah, I'm excited for these. Oh, and we're reopening for tours again. There's all kinds of tour news happening, big and small, now that we're out of the stand pandemic. So that's exciting. But we've got these awards tonight. We should dig in.
Oh,
John,
man.
who are you again?
We will. All right. So I'm John Champion from Roddenberry Podcasts. I'm from Mission Log and producer on the Trek Files and a bunch of other podcasts@roddenberry.com. And by the way, as is tradition on Mission Log Live, we look through the live chat and see who's talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of excellent comments coming right now. There's BC, just
Hey,
plain,
BC.
plain simple BC, of course. There's Chasen, there's Robert, there's Dave Takechi. So I've been seeing a lot of Mission Log listeners there. There's Scott, there's Anne-Marie and Jamal. And let's see, where was it? Somebody in here, Anne-Marie or maybe Robert. Somebody said, John, text Adam. So I did. So we will see. We will see if Adam shows up or not. But hey, look, we are here to have fun, and we're here to talk about the award show. And look, I didn't get to see all of it. Larry, you didn't get to see all of it either, but we all saw pieces of it. And I just want to kind of go down the panel and talk about highlights, what we saw, what we liked, and some of the standout moments for you. So,
You want me to
Bree-
kick it off?
Yeah. Sure,
it
kick it
off.
off for us, please.
All right. Well, I honestly did not know what was coming up with the LLAPy Awards. I knew we were going to have categories and nominations and winners, but I did not realize we were going to have so many fantastic guests and presenters who joined in the fun and really made this like a big event. And so as I was watching it and I saw everybody all dressed up and looking really nice, I thought, I better step up my game here. Because I was just going to wear the Trek shirt, but now I've got Trek in a jacket. I'm pulling a Garrett Wong, if you will. Yeah,
Nice,
that's
very
how we're doing that.
professional. Yeah.
That's as fancy as it gets here. But this is like a real, actual event. And it was impressive and it was fun. And there were tears and there was laughter. It was everything.
By the way, pulling a Wong is going to get us banned in certain countries on this live stream.
Oops.
So, yes.
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's
I would
all
have
right.
said
Yeah.
pulling a John, but that's almost as bad.
That would,
so-
yeah. But that's
Can't win.
Bree and yourself.
I thought it was awesome. I was not expecting, just like you, Shar, to have so many wonderful guests that joined in to take the, accept the awards. I just thought it was wonderful. I'm a huge fan of Michelle Hurd. So to see her show up, I mean, there was just so much. I'm so excited to talk about it. Overall, just an amazing first annual show.
The guest list is pretty outstanding. There were so many people who kept dropping in. I mean, big shout out to JG Hertzler trying to talk Bob O'Reilly through his tech support issues. That should just be its own show. If I could get a half an hour of that every week of them talking through setting up a Zoom call, I would be thrilled.
Could they just do an attempted live stream of that for half an hour every week?
That's all I need.
Yeah,
We'll put the Roddenberry name on it. We'll do a live stream every week, like Wednesdays at 9:00. And I'm telling you, it would sell out like gangbusters. That would be incredible. So
The
I thought,
Klingon Chancellor Tech Grandpas.
yes,
I think that would work. Yeah.
that's what we
See?
call it.
Yes.
It produces itself.
Yeah. So that would be awesome. Glory to your Zoom meeting. It would be great. So that was a wonderful moment. The special award for Ken Mitchell that will be an ongoing award was magnificent. And I loved him being there to share his thoughts on that great story about Bill Shatner and the tree. And for anybody who was on the cruise, and even if you weren't, go look for it. There is a transcript of the poem that Ken wrote that was like a spoken poetry set to music at the light show at the rave on the cruise. And it was just one of the most beautiful, touching, honest things that I've been in attendance for in a long time. So kind of connecting that poem about the tree to his story about Shatner sending him this tree and how he sort of sees that as almost a slice of immortality. It was really beautiful and great to see him on the Zoom meeting, to see that broadcast live. Larry, any special moments that you want to point out?
Well, again, I was on the road and I'm glad we got set up here, but I did catch the last few minutes of it and saw Michelle, who is a force of nature, Michelle Hurd.
Yes.
And it got me thinking that, she's part of that Picard cast. And I hope that we're and we can get into this as we go through some of these reaction moments, but we come out of the original era and the Legacy series where everything was in a little box, right? Casts were in a little box, and unless you had a one-off like Michael Dorn coming over to DS9 or Deanna being on Voyager with Barclay, everybody thinks of these people as being part of a show. And the beautiful thing about these short seasons and germinating so many different series, and the animateds too, is get them out of their boxes. And so I'm saying all this. We know that Picard's ending after 3 seasons. But Michelle is a force of nature, and she's a voice of good. She's a perfect Star Trek voice to represent the franchise and everything that these awards and everything that we're all about and the franchise is about. And so just because Picard is ending, I don't want to see, I hope Raffi turns up in another series at some point or whatever, but I hope Michelle is, and I know she will, she'll still be a part of a voice of this fandom, as have so many of the other actors in the other newer series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the end of her stepping in and speaking up like that. And at the other tail end of that, it was so sweet to see Michelle kind of accept her award that way. I mean, that's the way the show farewell celebration in December was. It was bittersweet, but it was great to see her there and taking part. And that was, even though it was the tail end of the whole thing, that was a great moment. But it made me think about what a transition time we're in. Yeah. And how we've got so many good people involved with Star Trek now, before and behind the camera.
Also, want to give a shout out to the hosts of this event. So Ryan and Sirach did a great job. Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, excellent job. Melissa, wonderful, and I loved your emotional honesty at the end of the show. I thought that was fantastic. And can I just say that my only regret is that I have not been able to share screen time yet with meteorologist Katie. That is actually just one of the things that I want out of all of this. So if I can be selfish for a moment, that's what I want. So I just need to get that out there to the universe. You're welcome.
That'd be a lot of fun. We need to make that happen for you, John.
We will. I feel like I know some people, and we could probably get something to happen.
We got some
if
connections.
only we had connections across the virtual sphere.
If only. If only.
If only you could just send messages almost instantly to people.
Ooh. If only we could just zoom into that era of time.
I like this. Well, look, I think we should get right down to it, because we have a list of all the categories and the winners. I'm bad at betting, so I'm scared off from anything where I have to make a prediction, because I feel like inevitably I will get it wrong. So I didn't even put pen to paper to try to guess what some of these were. But what I would love to do is we go around the panel, kind of the same order we did in the introduction. So Char, we'll start with you, and we'll go through these categories and the winners, and then we are all just going to pile on with our unexpurgated, unedited reactions to these categories and winners. I know.
Yes.
Unexpurgated and unedited? Okay.
All of the above.
All of
the above.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Char, kick us off.
Let's do this. Let's kick off with the legacy pre-2017 era of Star Trek, with the best pilot and first episode of a Star Trek series. We had as nominees The Cage from TOS, Beyond the Farthest Star, TAS, Encounter at Farpoint, TNG, Emissary, DS9, Voyager's Caretaker, and Broken Bow from Enterprise. We had the winner, DS9 Emissary, which that immediately broke my bracket.
So where did you land on this?
Well, I mean, I did host a Voyager podcast for a long time, and I still talk a lot of Voyager all the time. So of course I went with Caretaker. I really do think it's a very strong pilot, and that's not to say that Emissary wasn't. Mm-hmm. But if I have to go with my heart, I gotta go with that. I gotta go with Voyager.
All right.
Yeah, I hear you, Char. Like, I really enjoyed Emissary. I remember watching it when it came out, and I was just like blown away by it. But there is something about Caretaker and how it sets up the story and how it throws the ship 70 years away. Like that really resonated with me. The water issue with the Kazon, not so much, but I mean, overall, I really just loved it. And so it's definitely my favorite, but I can understand why DS9 took the award.
The Kazon have this giant honkin' starship that they can take all over the quadrant, and like they don't have water. Like,
Yeah.
seriously,
You can't find any?
You built this thing. All right.
Jerry Taylor has
Yeah.
one regret in
Look,
her
it's not
life.
perfect. We know that.
It's letting that slip into the It's
Yeah.
letting that. She is more than once. She doesn't have near as big an apology tour as Brandon has to go on. But Jerry does apologize for the whole water issue.
Ah.
Jerry Taylor doesn't need to
I say
apologize
that
for
with
anything.
love.
No, she does
Brandon.
not.
She was the heart
No,
of
she does not.
Voyager.
I said it's the only the water thing is the only thing.
Dude, Larry, I don't know if you remember, it must have been, it was early on when I started shooting the creation events for the show that I had when I lived in Chicago.
Mhm.
And it was a couple of years after Enterprise had wrapped. And Brannon had not made a convention appearance in a long, long time. And this was his first time back at a convention since before Enterprise started. And he was scared. He was like,
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know, like, if people are going to hate me. And I have to hand it to him. There was a good deal of bravery on his part to walk into something that was very unknown. But I got to tell you, it was so gratifying to see that so many fans were there for Enterprise. And the year before, still after the show had been canceled, Scott Bakula had the biggest crowd of anybody there for his stage show. And I feel like once Brannon did the apology tour, which again, not really necessary, but I think there was an embrace of, hey, not all creative ideas land. It's all right.
Yeah.
You know?
But you have to produce
Well, yeah,
26 episodes at breakneck
Right?
speed.
Right.
They're not
Right.
all going to be winners.
Right.
Right. No, I think he was bound up in it. And see, he grew up in it the same way Ron did, except he, well, as we know, lasted longer. But he came in as an intern. So he was very much in that cocoon of coming up in the way, and wound up when Jerry retired, took over Voyager, and then went off with Rick, the last man standing with Rick, to create Enterprise from the original pool of writers, and felt very, part of it. But I think, and then went right into another show, Threshold, right after Enterprise went down. But then the wheels of that kind of came off, and he was looking for him. I mean, I think he had some time to reflect that he did when he was when he was the frog in the pot. And then with a few years reflection, was able to come around and see some of those. But I'm saying, I'm handing it to him. The last 4, 5, 6, 10 years, he's been very upright and said, yeah, here's some mistakes we made. All the good things we've done, and all the things further back in his career. But he knows, he said, so that's a kudos.
And it was so great to see Jerry Taylor at STLV, even though we had COVID. Like, I was just so happy she still came. And I think she was in shock that there was like lines of people to talk to her. And, she made a big difference. So I think that's why Shar and I are just, it's our heart. We appreciate that Voyager start. But I understand why DS9 won for sure.
Well, Larry, do you have strong feelings about the list here and the winner?
Well, no, one thing I want to know, and me, is like, did anyone, and I missed this, did anyone talk about how many votes was there any kind of demo or numbers on how many votes came in, or
that I'm not sure of. We don't have those numbers in front of us, but I'm sure somebody does.
Somebody in the chat, I bet, like maybe a Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel or
do I need to be checking for Chads?
Because
age myself.
That
I just aged myself.
Seventh rule the brainchild here that VTC is kind of lean DS9 way. And not that I'm not saying they skewed the vote, but I'm thinking if that audience is what voted, a lot of these may.
That is a fair point.
That could be, yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. That it is what it is. And the promotion for the voting was all over the place. I was helping, boost the signal too. So I'm just saying that's part of it. I do remember Emissary blowing it. It was very easy in the early days to say, well, the Cage was of its time. And see, I don't even think about the Cage. I think of, both pilots, but they were of their time and they were amazing, and you put in context, but you can't, it's hard to compare even poor Farpoint, but by the time you get to the well-oiled machine cranking these out with the DS9 and Voyager, the Emissary blew us all away. But I remember being maybe because I was close to it because Janet was working on the show, but being very close to that group and watching everybody come in, not just Voyager crew, but the crew screening, the premiere, and other people, and people just being blown away. Oh my God! Well, that's every time we do a new series, these pilots get more and more impressive, and more settled and more ready to launch the show. And I remember thinking that. Now, years gone by, and then and Broken Bow was the same way. I still don't like 4 Days to Kronos, but otherwise, Broken Bow was. We were kind of wondering how the new show would go, but I remember thinking Emissary and Caretaker were. So no, this doesn't blow. I mean, and the way DS9 has, with streaming coming into its own and serialized shows, and people aren't afraid to watch arc series like that storytelling. Sure. I can totally see Emissary win, but no, I would lean to that or Voyager, either one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Emissary has a real strength in setting the tone, setting a mood for DS9, and I don't feel like necessarily everything that was there necessarily permeated its way through the series, because there are big changes in that series going from, season 3 to season 4 and so on. But there is a real strength to the mood that is established by that show. Encounter at Farpoint, I just think is weak. So I'm not surprised at all. I don't think it's a great pilot. But there's something kind of magic about the Cage that you start in the middle. You start with Pike weary from his mission, and you're just in the middle of another story. So there's real confidence and efficiency to the way that one is told. But I got to say, having just watched Caretaker not that long ago for Mission Log, there's something very tight. Even if you discount the story for certain weaknesses, that's fine. I think there's something really tight, really strong about how the characters are introduced, how their relationships are introduced early on. And then that keeps paying off almost immediately, the first several episodes of season 1. So strong contender, I would say there. But look, I'm not gonna take away from the love for Emissary.
Nah.
Yeah. I will say real quick that I think Emissary, the whole thing of the prophets not being linear, I think of all the pilots that maybe the Telosians, but I think of the modern shows, I think the whole bit about the prophets being non-linear, what that means and what it looks like and how would you depict that? I think looking at all these now in hindsight, I think that's the one that's the most out of the box.
Yeah.
As far as what you would hang the pilot plot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, getting lost 70,000 light years across the galaxy is something, but I still go back to that thread and that part of the universe of DS9 being set up.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is going to be like a 4-hour after show, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
We've gotten through one award.
That is pretty much where we're on target for. Yes.
Yeah. It's 2 hours on this first question, and then we
it's all
move on
down.
from there. All right. Yeah. So, Bree, I tell you what. Why don't you lead us through the funniest moment in Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Let's see here. Okay, so funniest moment. There was some good ones that got nominated. We had the Riker and Guinan teaching Wesley how to talk to girls. We had Worf wants Q to die to convince them that they're mortal, that he's mortal. Jealous Picard recites Shakespeare to win Lwaxana back. That is a good one. Worf is not a merry man. Picard wakes up next to Q. Data asks Worf to take care of Spot. Data searching and singing for life forms. And Riker and drunk Deanna argue about the timeline. I mean, those are all very solid moments. Of course, good. Worf is not a merry man, which is like such a meme at this point, is the winner. And I'm not surprised by that at all, because he's standing there in his little outfit and he was not merry.
No. Do you suppose the memification actually kind of pushed it forward? Because these are all really strong contenders for this category.
Yeah, I feel like this is a who's who list of memes for
TNG. For sure it is. But yeah. Any one of them could have won.
Yeah. Solid.
I think anyone could win. I mean, I kind of look at it and go, well, Worf is really good for a one-liner. So in my head, I stop comparing it to, moments in TNG, and I think about Worf's many great one-liners and moments in DS9. And then I think is the Merry Man line really the best of Worf. So maybe that's a little unfair bias on my part. But I look at like the Riker and drunk Deanna arguing about the timeline in First Contact. I feel like that is a scene taken from a definite emotional recall on the parts of the actors. So it felt very true to me. I thought that was a very beautiful and relatable scene. So to me, that would be my moment. But
That's what I
from the
picked
heart
too.
of the actors. Is there a story here, John, that you're not sharing with
No,
us?
I'm just saying
shared
that
with
I
you or
think it
something,
was very
or-
convincing. That's all.
Oh,
It's very
okay,
convincing.
okay.
Yeah.
We're talking
And it's not
about
easy to do acting, like drunk acting.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't act that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Very
By the way,
true. No, you've got to, yeah.
Update from Adam. You stole my jacket. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
Wow.
Thanks. Thanks.
Right
Adam.
in the middle of the live stream.
I know. All right.
Wow.
All
Here
right.
comes that. Real quickly, there are two of these. I will say this, why Worf Merryman may have won. Two of these were done on location and not on the set. So I'm just going to say, you can see in your mind's eye Worf ripping off his hat and throwing it down, right? So he's got
Sure.
the freedom. He's got the freedom on location to just be physical like that. So I'm just going to say that funny lines done on location are going to be
Nice.
ones that just naturally feel bigger and bolder. So
That is a plus.
For all
Although
the
you can make an
future-
argument anytime you
Yeah.
have a cat in the scene, the whole "I will feed him" or "feed her" line. That I think also. And speaking of cats, hi Bradley. He's so cute.
Bradley clearly wanted a grudge or spot moment to win. I think that was very important to him.
Fair.
Yes. Yes.
mhm.
By the way, in the chat, somebody says the Riker maneuver needs its own dedicated category.
Oh yeah.
Hard for me to
Yes.
disagree with that. I think on the cruise the year before, or 2 years ago, whenever they had their last one, they actually had a Riker maneuver contest. So I would
Wow.
love to see that come back. I think that would be great.
Star
Yeah.
Trek Las Vegas. Let's make it happen.
That would be great.
Mhm.
And did you guys see the video of Frakes reacting to someone
Yes.
doing the Riker maneuver? That was gold.
That was precious.
That was absolute gold. Yeah,
It's what advanced technology is all about. Yes.
it is. Yeah. Larry, any thoughts before we move on and have you talk about the favorite legacy Star Trek friendship?
Yeah. No, I kind of shot my powder there with, I just had this sudden instinct that some of these are all great and some of them are, Jean-Luc's gesticulating here in
Mhm.
Shakespeare is a famous meme too. But I was just thinking, I think maybe bolder and more physical. Not that Worf and Deanna are big and physical there in the bar set, but out on location. But no, that just struck me. Wow, favorite legacy Star Trek friendship. See, I'm a minority person here in thinking that Spock and McCoy wasn't in here, but okay, fine. No, so we've got James T. Kirk and Spock, Data and Geordi, Jake and Nog, Julian and Miles, right? And Julian Bashir and Garrick, Odo and Quark,
hot.
7 of 9, and Doctor.
Yes.
And Harry and Tom. So I don't, again, I think sometimes it's who's in the audience voting is going to skew this. But look at this. This is almost a surprise to me. We go back, and maybe it's the value of the Kelvin movies influencing, even though this is legacy series, I know.
Mhm.
But how many of these roles have been double and now even triple cast?
Yeah, right.
So it's a surprise to me a little bit that Kirk and Spock, the originals of, and if you go down a certain, a certain pathway, you're to the origination of the term slash, but there was slash fiction. But no, I'm surprised that one of the more modern series didn't win out there, like Jake and Nog or.
It's the
or,
goat.
Harry and Tom.
There we go. Bree,
Larry, do you not
FTW.
have any of your printouts today? Because I came ready with printouts.
Yeah.
I did not have one
Yeah.
for Slash Fic, but I do have one for Crusher and her candle.
And the candle.
Well,
wrote it.
number one, I was on the road and driving and then eating dinner to clear this out. But number two, I wanted to give it all to you, Bree.
So kind of hard for me to argue with the fan favorite on this. 7 of 9 on the Doctor have some absolutely golden moments the later you get into Voyager, no question about it. Bashir and Garrick, I feel like I didn't get enough of Bashir and Garrick later in the series. Like there was such weirdness and promise there, but I wanted more of them later. Bashir and O'Brien.
Look, if you're going to go for bromance, you got to go with the greatest of all time, and that is Kirk and Spock.
Well, see, that's just it. So Kirk and Spock, like, look, Spock literally gave his life for his fellow crew members and for his best friend, James Kirk. And then my favorite underrated, underappreciated Star Trek movie, the motion picture, which has one of my favorite underrated, underappreciated scenes in it, which is after Spock melds with V'ger and he comes back and it's like all that Kolinar stuff got shaken out of his head and he goes, oh, wait a minute. Friendship is the most important thing. And V'ger doesn't understand that, but I can. And it's profound and wonderful, and it says everything about that then 13-year-old relationship that keeps paying off the longer we're in Star Trek. So it's not just the friendship, it is truly, as the category calls it, a legacy friendship that informs so much and grows so much over that time. So yeah, anybody, you got a different...
I'm going to have to give a shout out to Tom and Harry, though, because the two of them have such a wonderful friendship arc. And they're so supportive of each other. There's something that's really nice to see two adult grown men find each other, really enjoy each other's company. And, you know, of course, Harry had to adapt to B'Elanna entering kind of the friend group. And I just thought that was so refreshing to see. But I totally understand why it's Kirk and Spock. So yeah, I do.
But one more thing, and I don't know where the cutoff was for nominations, but I can't believe also that... I was going to say Dominic and Connor. I can't believe that Malcolm and Trip aren't on here.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is another good one. They're all good pairings, but I think, we appreciate them so much just because Kirk and Spock got the party started.
Mm-hmm.
And not to go all Steve Kornacki here, but we were talking about the voting audience being DS9 skewed. Look how many nominations are from DS9. There's 4. So the DS9 vote got split up and let Kirk and Spock take the lead. See?
Yep.
I'm just prognosticating. Yeah.
Good point. All right. Well, I'm going to move us along to the favorite. Oh, here we go. Favorite legacy Star Trek
talking.
Fling. All right. So we got Jim Kirk and Edith Keeler in City on the Edge of Forever. We've got Tasha Yar and Data, The Naked Now, of course. We got Jean-Luc Picard and Vash, or Vash, depending on what part of the episode you're watching in Captain's Holiday. Quark and Grilka in Looking for Parmach in All the Wrong Places. We got Wesley Crusher and Robin Leffler in The Game. Catherine Janeway and Michael Sullivan in Fairhaven. Interesting. Okay. Jean-Luc Picard and Nella Darren in Lessons, and then Riker and Ro Laren in Conundrum. The winner is Quark and Grilka in Looking for Parmach in All the Wrong Places. All right,
Makes
Larry,
sense.
You wait, hang on, Larry. You were the first one there with an emotional outburst reaction.
I'm just thinking in this age of representing diversity, what a statement for the non-human characters.
Yes.
Seriously, that's the first thing that hit me. Yeah. But see, that classic legacy going for Kirk in the original series didn't go. I mean, Kirk and Edith Keeler was like the romantic moment of Star Trek for 20 or 30 years. So to see that. And by the way, Ira will tell you it's Vash, not Vash. So
in the episode, the scripty has to be on top of that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, they should have had a pronunciation because it's named for a friend of his, Susan Bosch.
Mogito, Mojito,
like
tomato.
It's all the same, Larry.
So, all right, Shar, how do you feel about our fling here?
I'm not disappointed by the pairing that came out as the winner. I did not pick it. So at this point, I did not actually calculate how my bracket shook out, but I'm guessing it's a very solid 50-50. I really was torn, though, between going for James T. Kirk and Edith Keeler, because that is just such a long-standing, and I mean, William Shatner and Joan Collins, and that's such a memorable episode, such memorable characters and moments. That definitely was a hard one to let go of, but also for completely different reasons, Tasha Yar and Data. Because once that's in your head, you don't ever forget that.
Nope. Nope.
So, and I do love that there is a little caveat with Catherine Janeway and Michael Sullivan here in our notes. It says, without deleted wife.
Whoa.
Well, then, what are you trying to say? Virtual
Awkward.
TrekCon.
But
Voyager fans, yeah.
And Bree, I want your take on. I want to know if either of you, how are we doing so far with your original picks? Like, are any of these lining up at all, or just from category one are you out?
I'm pretty finished.
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't put any money down on this.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I was busted in round one, so.
Yeah. Okay. So Bree, a strong take here on our fling.
Oh, Michael Sullivan. I mean,
Yes, I knew one of you two would want to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Thoughts?
if I want to weigh in on it.
I really don't either. No. Can we move on, please?
We could absolutely.
It's
move on.
so
opinion.
disturbing. I just don't know if I emotionally can handle it.
Well,
I mean-
these nominees were voted on by fans, so
Yes.
someone out there voted
And
for it. Yeah.
there are folks out there who really like this relationship because it is Janeway finally having something like a relationship. It had been so long, and the episode makes the case of, well, you can't exactly fraternize with any of your crew because you're at the top here, and that's that. And of course, as a Janeway Chakotay shipper, I disagree, but I see what they were trying to do. And they really lost me, though, when they follow up. I think it's in Spirit Folk where she says, I have a boyfriend who malfunctions. So it's just, he's a sex toy, not a relationship.
Which I am not against. A healthy.
No, she has needs. Take care of him.
I mean, all the other captains got to have some fun. I understand that she's on a tough mission, but you got to have release somewhere.
Totally. Coffee can't take care of everything.
I'm
ready to print more
There we go.
sheets. I'm just
That's
not
what I
ready.
was waiting for. That's what I was waiting
I
for.
didn't
Was
catch that.
hashtag
Rerun
ghost sex.
that, Bree.
Yeah. Hashtag ghost sex. There is no category. There is no entry here for Beverly Crusher and Rowan
No,
Ghost.
The
we
candle.
need a category for like craziest
Hey.
Star Trek sex scene.
Let's, all right, we're
lovers.
rewriting this for next year. There we go.
Sounds
We're
Be
pimping
free.
it out for you, Virtual
Yeah, are they
TrekCon.
listening to us? We better
Make
check
it
the
so.
chat and make
Yep.
sure that they're
Photons
paying
be
attention.
free. That's all I'm saying. guys.
All right, that's our fling. All right, so now we're going to make it a little more wholesome, and of course, Char, that falls on you to make it more wholesome.
Oh, I get to be the wholesome one?
Yeah, you do.
We're screwed.
Off-brand, and you're going to tell us about the favorite legacy Star Trek family.
Okay,
Aw.
well, we have some fantastic nominees in this one. We start off with Spock, Sarek, and family. Then the Siskos, Benjamin, Jake, Joseph, Jennifer, and Cassidy Yates. The O'Briens, Michael, Keiko, Molly, and Kiriyoshi. Rom, Lita, Nog, Quark, Zek, Ishka, and cousin Gayla. And the House of Martok, Cirilla, Worf, Jadzia, and Alexander. On Enterprise, we've got Trip Tucker, T'Pol, Elizabeth, and Teles.
Aw,
We have Data, Lal, Lore, B4, and the many Soongs. This number just keeps on growing, too.
It's just last week. Right.
We also have up for the reward here Tom Paris, B'Elanna Torres, Moral, and Admiral Paris. And of course, the Rikers, William, Thomas, Kyle, Thaddeus, and the Troys, Deanna, Loxana, Ian, and Kestra.
Hang on.
What?
We have a write-in here from somebody named Adam, and he is calling for the Uxbridges to be written into this category.
Okay.
So, yeah,
How do we factor that in?
we ignore it.
Okay.
That's
how we
deal with
handle
it.
Adam.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
All right. That's fine.
But I do also see that somebody mentioned Janeway in Paris, and that was a fling.
And
so
the
I will use
children.
mine.
Oh, wait a
There
minute.
we go, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Talk again,
Hashtag
Bree.
human hyper lizard babies. Hashtag threshold forever.
That's right.
Bravo. Well done.
That's
Bree.
right.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Annie Award-winning threshold. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Wayne, for bringing that up. I was ready to discuss it and almost forgot.
Good. All right.
So anyway, back to our category.
Yes, yeah. Now,
The
I've got
winners were
thoughts
the
on this, but
Ciscos.
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on this. The Ciscos. All
This
right.
is a wholesome choice. especially in the DS9 context, just how much it mattered for Avery Brooks and Sirach Lofton to show off a beautiful father-son relationship, and a Black father and a Black son is supremely important. They talk about that a lot. There's a very important reason why. And I think that is really what kind of is the clincher for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what does it. How about you all?
Larry, go ahead.
Putting the meta dimension in on top of the on screen. Again, I think we're seeing, these are all great nominees, and the Cisco's are great nominees for everything Char just said. And maybe this is a little bit of if there is a DS9 in the vote, I don't mean anything untoward. I mean, the audience. I'm a little surprised that maybe that with everything being so recently sentimental about this about a year ago, that the Rikers and Troys after Nepenthe on Picard, that didn't kind of, put a little.
Was a little surprised too.
Yeah, on that one, apart from all the other ones. Now, if it's just a matter of numbers, it's like who's got the most bodies and the most wins. I mean, I'm sorry, we only had 2 Uxbridges. But no, this is another hard one. Some of these, it's like whatever's going to win is it's going to be who's voting, but then it could be up in the air. It's funny that Spock, Sarek, and family. You could have said Spock, Sarek, Amanda, Perrin, Michael foster daughter, and
Sybok.
And Sybok.
Thank you, and Sybok, the older steps and the baby from the princess, whoever. But it's a great, Cisco's a great choice. I would have thought maybe the Rikers would have sneaked in over recent sentimentality, but it's a good choice.
Look, I feel like I need to recuse myself from this category, because if you've listened to any of Mission Log, you know that I will rant about Star Trek's poor portrayal of families and the many dropped balls and the many missed opportunities when it comes to families. Like, look, first of all, Sarek is a terrible father. That is just, I mean, maybe even worse than Worf.
I was just about to say, is he worse than Worf?
Ongoing years have demonstrated.
This is just factual information I'm reporting. The O'Briens, okay, they're still together, but I don't know why. The Ferengi family, that could only go so far before you just want to run out the door. House of Martok, full of psychopaths. So Data, Lal, Laura, that might be a little hard to deal with over time. I do like the wholesomeness that we got out of the Rikers when we got to revisit them in Picard season 1. I thought that some of the best scenes of that entire series were right there. So if I could just stick with that, I think that's great. But I'm going to go really, really dark horse here and say, all right, Cisco's, I feel like, had so much promise and there's so much good stuff on screen, but I'm still hurting from the finale of that series and what they chose to do there. So it kind of, it takes some of the joy out of my appreciation. It takes a lot of the joy out of my appreciation for the Cisco's. So I'm going to go.
I'm with you there, John.
See, we were talking. We could do a show together about this sometime,
it feels like they tore everything that they had built apart.
Thank you for understanding me. All right, so I'm going to go way dark horse. I'm going to say the Trip Tucker to Paul, Elizabeth to Les. That whole thing. Here's why. Because I feel like it was a very contrived, manufactured for TV kind of relationship. But the downfall of that, the emotional downfall of that, I felt played very true. And that was a testament to how good a job Connor did with that material and Jolene did with that material. So the build up, the clunky relationship, like not great, but what we got at the end of it felt emotionally honest. So I will give them that, and that'll just be my very, very weird choice until we get to another one later in the script.
You know what, John?
I'm road getting from there to the end.
From there to here to there. Yeah.
I think this is an underrated pick, John. This is a really good choice.
Look, I'm not always a conventional wisdom guy. I tend to buck the conventional wisdom whenever I can.
But the way it pays off at the end, you're absolutely right. In Terra Prime, when we end the show, that episode rather.
It ends. And
it could be the end of the show for you if that's in your head canon.
Could be.
With the promise that, yes, Vulcans and humans, they can have babies. There's hope. We end on this beautiful Idic note. When we start off the series Enterprise, they won't even shake hands. So what an arc.
Yes. Yes. See, there you go.
So it's good work, John.
Thank you. Thank you for backing me up. I appreciate
Got
that.
it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, do we get everybody's take on this here? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. I've lost my order, so let's
Bree,
see.
you're up.
Yeah, I think we're on best new character.
There we are.
So we've got some
Yes.
really great ones. I mean, especially since we've got all this new Trek happening. We had Adira, we had Charles Vance, we had Cleveland Booker, Gray, of course, one of my favorites, Grudge the cat, Kovic, Ren, and Tarina, which, I mean, heart. I can't even do a heart. I'm trying to do a heart here. Really some tough ones to select from, but the winner was Cleveland Booker. And we learned about his name just recently in the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was the winner. So no DS9 here because we're into new Trek.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Them's the
just
rules.
to clarify,
Yeah.
the definition that they defined was new as in the last couple of years, pandemic times. They're
Yeah,
using
2020 to
the
2021,
earlier,
correct.
The earlier part of Discovery was in its own category, right?
Yes.
But it's definitely not considered here. So yes, only season 3 and 4 of Discovery plus everything else.
I have no quarrel with this at all. I think Book is one of the most interesting characters come out and played really well. But at the same time, like, I love Admiral Vance. I love Dr. David Cronenberg, and I want him to be the president of the Federation. You know, and man, Tarina, see, the problem is we're only going through 2021, but Tarina, wow, what we just got out of Tarina.
Next year.
Yeah. But Book was great then, and Book is great now. So
He's the
Nice,
solid
complex-
choice here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I have to go, you know, if my heart is telling me what you all know already, it's Grudge. I wanted to
absolutely
vote
got
so
Grudge
hard
Cat.
for Grudge, but
Yeah.
yeah.
you know, the character development that they put into Book and the fact that, you know, Grudge cat actors are a real pain on the set. We've heard this many times for Brent
Sure.
Spiner, and just, yeah, I knew the popular choice would be Book. So he got my vote, but Grudge, I'm with you in spirit.
Nice.
I mean,
All right.
Star Trek can always have more cats. I have no
Oh.
problem with it.
Cat representation matters too.
Yep.
It does.
Good
yes.
call. Good call. Yeah.
And
Larry?
I was going to say, I'm just giving a shout. We kind of skipped over. Everyone's gotten a good shout out here, but I just want to put in 2 cents here for Rin. I started to say we finally got an Andorian with development. Excuse me, I'm not dissing here Jeff and Jeff Combs and Shran. But in the modern era, the one Andorian that's had some development, and of course, spoilers, didn't make it to the end of the season, but just a small shout out there for doing a lot with not much and wearing blue at the same time. So.
I feel like they could, you know, bring Noah back and make him Rin's brother or something. It's Star Trek.
Yeah.
Stuff like
There's
that.
so little
Happens
we
all
know
the
about
time.
Andorian
Yeah.
physiology and family dynamics. It'll happen.
Exactly.
But I'm with you too. I always thought Charles Vance was an awesome, and what he's done with the writing that he's been given
Yep.
has been
Yeah.
something.
Good stuff.
Yep. All right. Shall we move on here? Then, Larry, most impressive show of production talent in Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, this is just Discovery, not the other series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know, they've been not. I'm not up on. They've had several Emmy nominations, and some of the individual guilds have been there. And if somebody's up on something, I know there've been some winners. Somebody popped in. Was it costuming or editing? I'm not going to guess, but this is just wide open. Now, some of the things are more glam. People love visual effects. People love production design. Everybody loves their ship porn. The tech heads love that.
Those ample nacelles.
Props. The cosplayers are all about costuming, you know, but some things like audio, sound effects, and editing, they don't have a fan base out there, at least in standard Star Trek fandom. So this is one of those where, you know, do the glamour kids get the attention, or some of the ones that are very, very, you don't think about audio and sound effects until it's not there.
Right.
Or how the, you know, editing is a choice versus what was the other choice in editing that you didn't see.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, visual effects took this character. We had audio, sound effects, makeup and visual effects, makeup, special effects, makeup. visual effects, costume and wardrobe, production design, basically the art department, everything visual and design, props, music and scoring, which has been incredible, and editing, like the pace, what do you do with those takes when you do with it, when you're done, and visual effects. It is the world of cinematic TV we have now, and the line between movies and TV is down. So on one hand, maybe that's not a surprise. This might be the toughest one of all to, because they put so much into all the categories, all the different areas of Star Trek.
You need them all.
Much lavished on them. Yeah. I wouldn't have picked a winner in this. I would have tried to guess what the fan base was going to vote for more than trying to pick a winner, because it's been incredible.
Yeah.
You might quibble on individual choices, but to say that anything has languished is a mistake. That's not true.
I ended up picking editing because at the end of the day, those choices, putting it all together, is what makes the finished product. So I had to give it to them.
Good call.
Well, look at you, deep thinker. Good.
The thing is, you need everybody on point doing their very best to make it the very best show that it is.
Right. Bree?
Everything has been just so stunning. I can understand why Larry was saying it's a tough one. Like, the look and feel of Discovery is absolutely gorgeous. I've been a real fan of the score. Yeah, I mean, everything is great. I see why they picked visual effects, but everything else has been awesome. I mean, it is definitely like we're watching a film on TV.
Yeah.
It's all been good.
Yeah. I would kind of give all of these categories get better over time, or they get more sophisticated over time. You know, when you go from 60s Star Trek to 80s Star Trek to now, and it would be impossible to not note the changes in all of these elements. I got to say, though, like, makeup has absolutely been killing it. When you've got a character with so much screen time like Saru, or my favorite, Linus, the more we get out of him, just looking great. And even some of the subtler makeups, like on Lieutenant Nan, stuff like that they're not as extensive, but just look great and really ground the character. Such good stuff there. I think costuming and wardrobe is not always about necessarily the design, whether you like or don't like a design, but the quality of those builds. And those are, from the beginning, incredibly impressive with Discovery, and with all modern Trek for that matter. So yeah, it's a tough one to call.
And doing it on time and budget also.
Yes.
Because money can't buy you everything. Money can't always buy you more time.
Yeah.
You can't clone time yet.
Did they deliver these on time, though? Because, we keep waiting. Like, it's coming out in June. No, it's coming out in November. No, it's coming out.
They're leaning on that old COVID thing.
Yeah,
so
maybe
We've got to be forgiving.
Okay, all right.
Well, we'll take any Trek we could take.
There you go. Well, I gotta move us along then.
Prodigy season 1 can last like another 2 years, and I'm fine with that. Like, just keep giving me
as long as we get it.
keep pumping out new Prodigy. All right, so here we go with another very wholesome category. It's the most nostalgic moment in Star Trek Picard season 1. Up first is Picard and Riker on the dock. That would be in Nepenthe. Picard playing poker with Data in 10 Forward in Remembrance. 7 of 9 and Icheb together in Stardust City Rag. Riker showing up to rescue the USS Jinghe in Arcadia Ego Part 2. Picard says goodbye to Data in Arcadia Ego Part 2. And Picard's embrace with Hugh in The Impossible Box. Now, the winner here is Picard saying goodbye to Data in Arcadia Ego Part 2. There is no way for me to argue with that choice. I mean, I do love Picard and Riker on the dock. Like I said, I love all those scenes on Nepenthe with the Riker family. I just think they're so real and lovely. But that is a great, great scene. Is there any dissenting opinion here?
No, not over here.
No. Okay. Then I tell you, let's just move on because we can. So, Shar, you are up with the funniest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yes. All right. I love Lower Decks. So our nominees
A
are.
series known for a funny scene there too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Kayshawn, His Eyes Open, season 2, episode 2. We'll Always Have Tom Paris, season 2, episode 3. Mugatu Gumatu, season 2, episode 4. And Embarrassment of Duplers, season 2, episode 5. I Excretus, season 2, episode 8. And Wait Juge, season 2, episode 9. We'll Always Have Tom Paris won this category. What do you all think of that?
Did it win because of recognition? You know,
That's what
That's
I'm
a good
wondering.
question. I do have Tom behind me in his plate.
Nice.
Yes, right on.
I mean, really, that is the best thing
Fabulous.
that came out of that episode is you can now get the plate.
Right.
Absolutely. More Trek products like that, I'm happy to purchase.
That's actually why
Seriously.
this won. The most easily available commercialized episode to make enough people happy was the
Right?
Tom Paris
That and
plates,
Rito's
so
shirts.
obviously, ergo, yeah.
I'll say this, like anybody who listens to our show or the live show on Monday nights, and particularly when we're talking about new Trek and they think like, oh, okay, you're produced by Roddenberry, therefore you have to only say good things about new Trek. Like that is not true by any stretch of the imagination. And I've gone on many, various size rants from time to time about my feelings on current iterations of Trek. And I think Star Trek Lower Decks overall is a great show. And I love what the writers do there. And I love Mike McMahon's vision for that show. However, there are times when I've said, okay, look, the style of comedy that they're doing here isn't really for me. Like some of the pacing, some of the references, it's like, I don't know who this is for. So it doesn't really land with me always. However, see, right? You get me. Thank you for being a fan who gets me, because I don't feel like all Star Trek fans do.
I would say that it was written towards me for sure.
Oh, okay. Okay, then you don't get me. You don't get me. I'm
No, I understand though. I can.
Oh no.
Here, I'm representing the other side of ridiculousness.
but that's my preamble to say this. To me, picking this category, Kayshawn, His Eyes Open, that, first of all, I love the misdirect for the audience. And I love the idea of taking this one iconic episode, Darmok, and the conceit of the episode, but making it so just like casual and giving this character this ability to just, spout off these metaphors as if they're just rolling off the tongue so perfectly. It diffuses the heightened drama a bit. And it's that kind of humor that I love in Lower Decks.
It's good.
Also, look, I can't be mad at a Mugato who likes to watch. So
Seriously, that's
can't
such
be
a
mad at
priceless
that
moment, whether
either.
you love it or not.
Yeah. So they're so, look, Lower Decks is full of great moments. It is full of great stories, and they totally nail it when it comes to the character moments when they do tell drama. So I love them all. But for me, my heart is with Kayshawn.
How lucky are we that we've gotten all these different types of Star Trek in like just the last few years? Like I just feel so
Yes.
lucky because Lower Decks speaks to me in a way that I didn't realize I needed Star Trek, and it was just, I was able to laugh at myself. And like when the Tom Paris, of course, Tom Paris, we'll always have Tom Paris, when he pulls out the plate collection and Boimler's just going through his plate collection, saying who he still needs signatures for. I'm like, that is me. I understand this. Like, there's something to be said about that type of humor and how it fits into this big universe that we have, this huge, diverse universe. So, no, I can appreciate people not enjoying it as much, but also there's a space for everybody, it seems.
That's what's so great about Trek right now. Is it's like Baskin Robbins. We have a flavor for just about everything. So if one thing doesn't totally suit your fancy, that's okay, because there's probably something coming down the pipeline that you will like. And if you don't like that, you can go back and see everything else that has existed before. Something's bound to work.
Yeah. Like if you're not into voyeuristic Mugato, then just wait, and we're gonna have Boimler spread eagle in an orgy in the bar.
That's right.
So there is something for everyone.
There
So
really
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely.
There really is. Yeah.
I just enjoyed watching the reaction. Now I met Mike years ago, and I knew
Yeah.
he did work. Like the hidden, the
Yeah.
secret 8th season of Next Generation, and I knew what kind of a sense of humor he had. And it was like but I didn't know what kind of control he'd have. Apparently, he has total keys. It's like whatever he wants, it goes, and then maybe somebody will nix it at the top end.
Yeah.
But I just think if this had come along 10 years ago, just think we've had 10, 12 years here of Facebook memeing. Just think how the fandom has gotten used to making fun of itself. If it's in the family, if it's somebody on the outside.
That's right. They can't do
it's
it.
Clueless.
Absolutely.
But someone is, and I would say Mike is in the family.
Yeah.
So it's like Lower Decks is all just a generation that's grown up with social memes. And now we're ready to see it, animated and drawn out as storytelling.
Good point.
That's and not to say that it's all either black or white. There are some misfires, and there are things I absolutely love. So it's not like all or nothing. I mean, we can still critique a Lower Decks just because it's but I've enjoyed watching how so much of fandom that was so terrified, much less worried or even angry that they're going to cartoon up Star Trek, and it's not the animated series because the animated series was just taking it's this tone. And how people have been, and with both the animateds, but especially Lower Decks, people have been flipped. People have been shockingly surprised. I knew all along. What shocked me was how great the Easter eggs in the background detail has been. I love seeing fandom turn around on this.
I was able to cosplay at STLV this year as Boimler when he asked to be like the cool, super cool guy. Yes! And I had little mini baseball footballs, and I was throwing the footballs out, and I had my giant purple wig. I had so much fun doing that. And to be able to be a cartoon character in cosplay was just an absolute delight. And I should have been wearing these for the award show the entire time. Yeah. But
how many people you saw when you were doing your Marty McFly Boimler?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. How many people got it and how many people had no clue? Like
a few people did not get it, and it seemed it tended to be the more serious fan, I noticed. Mm-hmm. So they might not have like gone completely into the new Trek yet. But
80-20?
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it, Larry. There were so many people dressed in Lower Deck uniforms. I was really amazed. I just always like, especially at STLV, to do that cosplay that's a little bit of a deeper cut. That's what I'm always aiming for, is that deeper cut, because I find it so much fun. Exactly. I do those too, but Lower Decks has a very special place in my heart, and I did not see that coming at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm with you, Bree. Same. It hit a nerve that I didn't know needed to be hit.
That is kind of like the weird, wonderful, kind of scary thing about how modern Trek is made, is that we've had guests on like Mission Log Prodigy had the Hagemans, and we've had Mike McMahon on, and they all say the same thing, which is, look, we don't get ratings numbers. We don't get notes in the traditional sense of like you get a thing approved and then you can make it and whatever. Like, it's just not like that. So he's thinking, I think Mike said that he was already working on scripting season 3, like before season 1 had even aired. So wow. So they got to work in this fantastic, like, creative bubble where there's not all these external pressures that you would have had 20 years ago, or not even 20 years ago.
Like reshooting a whole pilot to fix somebody's hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I can't imagine how that felt for everyone, but what a different. Go ahead, Larry.
No, that's the beauty of animation. So many people are fearful of it. You can have the Hagemans and maybe one or two right-hand people, or you can you can do that much more than, and not that it's good or bad with anybody, but there's just so many more people involved in visual and physical and post choices in a live action show.
That's a good point.
You can keep your arms wrapped around it when it's animation, and you can keep that pure vision, good or bad. You can keep the pure vision, and in this case, we've got it. It's right on, and everybody sat back. Good on Alex and Heather. They heard the pitch and said, "Okay, take it and run with it," and then they just reacted, and everybody's, they trusted him to go with it before it ever saw an audience, and people are going with their gut reactions in the think tank, and it's done what it's done, and people are now, we're all agog waiting for season 2.
Let's keep talking about animation, and let's move on to the next category, which Bree will tell us about, and that is the most wholesome / best moment in Star Trek Prodigy episodes 1 through 5.
I think my friends of DeSoto would find it amusing them using the word wholesome for anything. But these are some really good moments in Prodigy. The rescue of Gwen at the murder planet. We've got Ratak gleefully covered in alien babies. When we finally hear Ratak's voice being revealed, that was so amazing and so unexpected. Gwen rescuing Murph instead of abandoning him. That was a great Star Trek lesson there. Gwen showing mercy. Of course, we were all obsessed with that child. That was one of the things I'm still very concerned with, because of course I have issues with Trek and cats. I need more of it.
Yes, Trek cats. Yep.
And of course, hologram Janeway explaining the Federation to the cadets, which was the winner, of course. And it really was a touching moment just to see it happen and to see all of them watching her. And she spoke about it just so highly. Really, I can see why that one won, especially since it's wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. I mean, part of the beauty of it is that Prodigy is a show that's aimed at kids, but like the original animated series, there are stories with heart that speak to an adult audience as well. And what I love here is this gentle, easy to understand way of like, no, we're telling you what Star Trek is. We're not just telling you a story that takes place in the Star Trek universe. We're actually telling you what Star Trek is. So if this is your first time around, whether you're a kid, whether you're an adult, this is what it's all about. And that moment absolutely warms the heart. But then they're all great moments. So
we're not just rattling off 47 cannon points at you.
47,
No.
ladies and gentlemen.
You see what you did there?
Yeah.
It wasn't too, No,
And
yeah,
to hear it in Janeway's voice.
Yes.
That just warmed me to hear it in Janeway's voice.
But and that's just the point, Larry. It's like, and forgive me, I'm not going to rant entirely on this show. But yeah, it's doing Star Trek by just doing Star Trek and talking about the morals, the meanings, messages of Star Trek. That's what makes it Star Trek. It's not just doing a list of name checking everybody who came before you. Like, that's fine. We all get it. We can connect the dots. But just because you remind people it's Star Trek by name checking somebody, that's we're better than that. All right, I'm gonna move on because you get me wound up, and this will be a very long night. Larry, you are going to read us a category of best antagonist in new Trek, and that's 2020-2021.
Right, and this is across the series.
Across the new series.
Across the new series since 2020. So we have Agimus in Lower Decks. The Packlids Phase 2 in Lower Decks, Badgie, Lower Decks, Osira, Discovery, the DMA, the Dark Matter Anomaly from Discovery this season, the Diviner from Prodigy, the Murder Planet, Vines from Prodigy, and Narissa from Picard. And I'm looking at these, and guess who won? I guess it's really no surprise. People love Badgie.
Yeah, this is no surprise at all.
It just came out of nowhere. I mean, when you saw Badgie, when you get into the story, the original, when Rutherford's unveiling all this, and it just goes haywire. It's one of those mind-blowing paradigm moments of Star Trek. Oh, okay, the bad hologram. That's a stupid comm badge,
It's Clippy from the Word doc that we haven't seen in a decade.
Those of us who remember that.
Yeah.
It's almost unfair because like the Packlids is a whole race that's hysterical. Like only Lower Decks would suddenly find a way to make the Packlids the villains, which is hysterical in itself. But if you're talking about a single character, and it's gone back to, right? He came back in the finale. They returned to that. So that's always a good sign when you're a recurring guest on a Star Trek.
Yes.
But I would say of all of these, that's got to be the one that doesnthat doesn't surprise me at all. That's who I would have gone for.
That's who I went for, yeah.
Right. But in a mirror universe, is Badgie good?
I guess
or useful, helpful?
Yeah,
maybe.
He could be.
Yeah.
Although he is still useful and helpful just when he's not angry and murderous.
Terrifying.
So yeah.
Can I teach you a lesson?
I'm going to wear your skin. I love I like Badgie's great. I do want to buck the conventional wisdom just a little bit and show my love for the pack leads, because that to me is part of the genius of Lower Decks, is just taking this one-off character, this one-off idea or species, totally reinventing them, and then doing like the absolute shortest, most efficient political commentary with them in season 2 of Lower Decks. So yeah, I mean, I think that was just such an inspired way to bring them in and to create an enemy. The others I have no problem with, but yeah, it just shows like the strength of what Lower Decks is doing with these characters, that they get 3 entries in this category out of all of these shows and they win. So yeah,
we like psychopaths, apparently is what we're really saying as an audience.
Apparently so. Yeah. Let's move on to biggest wow moment in new Star Trek. We have Captain Freeman arrested in the season 2 finale of Lower Decks, First Contact. Captain Riker arriving on the USS Titan in Lower Decks, No Small Parts. We have Quajon destroyed by the DMA in Discovery Kobayashi Maru. We have the Guardian of Forever reveal in Discovery Season 3, Episode 10, Terra Firma Part 2. We have Picard reunites with Riker and Troy on Nepenthe. Icheb's death in Picard Season 1, Episode 5. Hugh's death in Picard Season 1, Episode 7. And then finally, Seven arrives on La Sirena in Picard Season 1, Episode 4, Absolute Candor. So my question for all of you, now the winner here was Guardian of Forever reveal. All right. My question for all of you, how many of these, and given what the winner is here, were they actually wow moments for you, or did you feel like you could kind of see it coming? Doesn't mean that it's not a good choice, doesn't mean that it doesn't drive the story and the drama, but
yeah, great question.
Some of these, I wonder, are they really wow? So Bree, how do you?
Oh, yeah, wait. Seven wowed me, but the Guardian Forever, like that blew me away. I remember saying something to the screen like, whoa. Nice. Which, I mean, definitely I can see why they won. So
okay, fair. Larry, you had your hand up.
Well, I just wanted to say, kind of in line with what you were saying, define wow, because some of these are tragic moments, like really heartfelt, the deaths, Icheb's death, Hugh's death, and controversial. Some of them are truly wow moments, like the Guardian of Forever popping up, Carl, right? Yeah.
Carl. He's the Guardian.
And Seven's arrival. We all knew that Jerry was going to be part of Picard, just a matter of when, but it was one of the best, entrances ever in any Star Trek. So, I mean, this may have been hugging too much, is what I'm getting at too. I would have loved to send wow, like upbeat moments and horrific tear-jerker moments, but I'm just surprised through all of these. And once again, it's eligible here. It pops up. Picard reuniting with Riker and Troy on Nepenthe. I'm just shocked that in all of new Star Trek, as defined here, that the Nepenthe moments haven't carried more weight. Maybe because there's so many other good nominations, but that just blew me away. And it didn't just blow me away that, oh, look, we find, here's some legacy characters, is what everybody was hoping to see, la-di-da. But Lulu Wilson playing their daughter, the backstory, the care that the whole set was put together with, that Michael Chabon made sure that the backstory of Thad was in there, and parsing all the, having Picard in his admiral uniform holding but then the actual moments when they're together and sharing back and forth, and then but keeping the story going along, and that locale and the pizza, all of it. I'm just shocked that it hasn't reverberated through any of these categories. That said, the Guardian Forever reveal was kind of incredible. And the idea that the Guardian Forever, it says, I'm alive. He says, are you a thing or alive? And I am both and neither. Well, here he is hopping around. Or they are hopping around planets. Now it's clear out at the edge of the Gamma Quadrant now, from where that's not where Kirk and Spock encountered it. So hey, canon wrinkles. But but this seemed like a really huge category, and that's as good a one as any. Some things though, like the Troys on Nepenthe, we know those characters for ages. Quajon destroyed by the DMA, we've only been around that that's only been a year or so, one
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the depth of emotion you're going to have behind any of those different levels?
Yeah. I'm honestly not surprised at this taking the cake. And I'm not disappointed in the least, because I too was kind of wowed by that. I did not know it was coming. So it genuinely was a surprise. But I ended up picking Seven arriving on the La Sirena.
Mhm.
Yes, we knew that she was coming, like you said, Larry.
Mhm.
But the way she comes in, I'm just like, oh, Seven! I was so excited. And then she passes out and like, oh no, is she okay? And just heck of a way to make an entrance. And Picard owes her a ship. Man, okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
Yep. I agreed. And some of these feel like, okay, are we killing off a character, killing off Icheb, killing off Hugh? Icheb made sense dramatically. So it was a wow moment, but it made sense dramatically. Hugh, I just felt like, they just feel like, okay, well, we have to kill another character to shock the audience. So
Did we have
to? Right. Well, that's the thing. It didn't feel earned, So some of these that actually feel really earned, like, okay, Captain Freeman being arrested. It's a shocking moment, but all the logical moments that lead up to it, you go like, oh, okay, well, this is shocking, but it actually makes a lot of sense for the drama. Kind of like the end of season 1, when you kill off Shax. It's just like, oh, okay, wow, we've had joke. Now we lead up to the big dramatic moment, and the dramatic moment itself is earned, and it makes a lot of sense. So it actually has weight to it. So Captain Freeman, absolutely. All those moments, as you were pointing out, Larry, all those moments on Nepenthe felt really great. They felt really earned. But Guardian of Forever, I liked it when Discovery would do these things that were spiritually connected to the original series that felt like they belonged. So just hearing that vocal track of the Guardian made it real and made it special, So yeah, I can't disagree with that answer either. Let us move along and let us have Shara tell us all about the best new 2020 to 21 Star Trek episode.
All right. So up for this one, we had That Hope Is You, Part 1, Disco, Season 3, Episode 1, First Contact, Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 10, Wage Douche, Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 9, Nepenthe, Picard, Season 1, Episode 7, Stardust City Rag, Picard, Season 1, Episode 5, and But to Connect, Disco, Season 4, Episode 7. And Nepenthe finally gets a win.
It's like winning Best Picture when you're writer, director, and actor awards all went.
Nepenthe was the Susan Lucci of the LLAPys. But finally, we have a winner in Nepenthe. Really, yeah, if you want to watch anything out of the first season of Picard, that's the one.
It's a great episode. I feel like part of the problem with Picard or Discovery right now is that everything is written in this serialized format. So it's very difficult, with the exception of moments, to actually pull an episode out by its own. So Nepenthe, the moments are what make it. And it's those moments with the Riker family. I feel like, similar thing with But to Connect. The last few episodes of Discovery have been incredible, but they've been incredible because they all rely on each other, so that one's a little hard for me to put into context there specifically. I almost go with Wage Douche, because again, it's Lower Decks like really honing in on a character and what makes the character strong and relatable, and then making sure that also as a story, all the jokes fire, all the drama fires. They keep getting it right. For that matter, so does First Contact. So
those are both really strong.
Yeah, these are all good choices. I guess the question is, does Nepenthe, is it just because of the strength of the moments, or is it the story of Nepenthe, that one episode, that really makes this stand out?
Okay, can I just say Wage Douche should be in its own category by itself, because it was an amazing episode. I don't care what series it was in.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to watch it again tonight when this is over.
Tonally, and it deserves to have its own category, and let Nepenthe win here so it can win in its own. I'll just say that.
There you go. So we have a call for the Wage Douche category on the Lappies. On
All
the-
right,
groundbreaking
another one.
episodes.
We're making a list.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
if
are.
we're going to do an after show again, they have to submit
We're-
to some of our requests, right?
We're taking over. Yeah.
We're making demands now.
Well, I'm
Bree,
working on
thoughts
the
on-
after show right now. so I'm
Nice,
getting all
nice.
these-
Hey.
Yeah.
A late night.
Yes.
There
Well,
you
late night.
go.
Look, he's not late night Larry for no reason. Okay.
Oh, you
Hey.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. We need to get him a piece of paper saying that.
That's
do.
so pre-pandemic.
It is. That goes way back. Yeah. Okay. Bree, thoughts on this one before we move along to funniest moment?
No, I thought this was great. And the moments that were nominated were good ones.
Mhm.
All right. Well, share them with us, please.
So for funniest moment, we've got Rafi versing with multiple Rios holograms. That was a riot. Michael
Mhm.
Burnham trips out from the truth serum. Almost forgot about that one. Always
Right.
a classic. Borg babies. We've got the orgy on the USS Cerritos.
Boimler.
We've got Riker burns the pizza. Of course, we've got whales, which I came ready with my Larry Nemecek space
Yeah.
whale. What a great moment. And
yes.
something we've always
Right on.
wondered about, and they addressed it.
Mhm.
So happy about
Mugato
that.
likes to watch.
Yes, they
which was
do. Mhm.
Disgusting and amazing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And Picard's French accent in Stardust City when he's technically French and yet not French. And yeah, I thought they were all great nominations. Rafi conversing with the different Rios holograms, the winner. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know, man. I'm a little partial to Lower Decks in this category. How about you all?
Yeah, I mean, when you're naming funniest moments, I look that whole scene with Rafi and the holograms, great. By the way, that's a new band, Rafi and the holograms. You're welcome. Got all their albums, please. Like it was great, and it was shot so well. It was done so well. Both actors magnificent in it, but. Come on, when you get like hypersexed whales in Cetacean Ops, that is inspired. That and
I mean,
yeah,
how do you compete with that? Unless
Thank
you're
you,
Brad
right?
Boimler in an orgy scene.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I'm just automatically my eye goes to putting a big check mark next to any category that includes orgies. So why not? These are all they're really tough to call. I don't hate on the Rafi scene, but you know, it's a toss-up. Orgy whales.
You just
orgy
want to lean into the animated, all the animated nominees to begin with.
Well,
because
it's the
they're all from
animated
Lower Decks.
nominees and the
Right.
fact that they will go there and they share the same filthy mind that I have. So, you know, that's
John.
like that's what makes
Relatable.
them
Not alone.
special.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah.
And Lower Decks, like it goes for the humor element specifically.
Yeah. And nail it. That's the thing.
And nails it.
Nail it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
It's all right.
yeah.
You know, the voters cast their votes. That's
Yeah.
how it shook out. That's okay.
I'm not going to say
Actually-
that the voters are wrong, except for at some point in the show when I say that the voters are wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, so that moment will come, I'm sure.
Actually, John, not only does Rafi and the Holograms deserve to be a band, Rafi
Yeah.
and the Holograms deserves to be a band that had an animated 70s series on Saturday morning from Hanna-Barbera.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we
Hot.
can move on.
Yeah.
Jem is putting off to the side and
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's just a copycat. If something gets big,
Yeah.
Now, see, I want to see that crossover now.
That'll be a new cartoon. There you go. There's
Oh,
the battle.
wow.
Yeah.
This stuff
yeah.
writes itself.
All right, Larry, we've got most exciting moment in new Star Trek.
oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, some of these are overlapping. Look at this. So we have nominees for most exciting moment
Mhm.
of new Star Trek. Guardian of Forever reveal. You'd think it'd be content with winning in one category, but here it is again.
Right? Yeah. Settle down,
It's back for
Guardian
seconds.
Forever. You've
Yeah.
only got forever. Okay. Yeah.
Carl, don't make me
Mhm.
come after you and like
Yeah.
your cigar. Okay, Riker rescues Picard at an Arcadia Eagle Part 2, the finale of Picard Season 1. The Cerritos is rescued by the Titan during the Packlet attack, otherwise known as It's the Titan. Cerritos' rescue of the Archimedes, tit for tat, in First Contact Lower Decks. Mars is attacked in Children of Mars. That's
Oh.
interesting. Elnor's Choose to Live moment on Vashti in Absolute Candor. Protostar's Escape from the Murder Planet, thankfully was not named Planet Larry, in Terra Firma. And
it was on the list. It was on the list, from what I understand. Yeah.
Well, it was in the dialogue. Yeah, thank goodness. And then 7 takes charge of the artifact Borg Cube, which was an amazing visual, in Broken Pieces. And of the most exciting moments in New Star Trek, that was the winner. 7 taking charge of the artifact Borg. It was really spooky. It was, in fact, it's an actor playing with space and a huge animated 3D CG graphic. It was very chilling because that's the first time we'd really touched back on 7.
Yeah,
you know, and remembering what's lingering there, what's lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah, the emotional weight to get her in there, and to that was a big deal. I don't know.
That's what gets me there. Yeah.
Having said that, I was kidding about it, but who did not go verklempt when the Titan swooped in?
I'd see. Okay, I was about to say
I always
that.
go back to that, but and then the way they bookended it, it's like beginning and ending with a cube trial. Only it's a season apart. The way that the Cerritos, look how the kids have grown up. Cerritos swoops in to help the Archimedes at the season finale of the next season, which I thought
that was great.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my other. Again, this is a category most exciting moment. There's a range of emotions here. How you define exciting. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah. It depends on where you're coming from. What angle do you want to look at? These nominees are coming from different areas here, and that makes the selection so much tougher. Now, I'm not disappointed though about 7 winning. That was actually my pick, and it was because of the emotional weight of that scene that got me to pick it. And apparently the voters followed suit.
Yeah, I agree with you about that scene being heavy and just fascinating for her. This is what Star Trek is so good at, is that when you have these characters with these very long arcs and these very long histories, like that's what makes Spock's sacrifice in Star Trek II so emotionally gutting and satisfying, is because we've had all that time with him, we've gotten to know him. When 7 does something heroic and dramatic like that, but you know all the baggage that she's carrying around with her that gets her to that point, it makes it so much more satisfying. And there are other moments where maybe you've got a character that you haven't spent too much time with, and you feel like, okay, they're just sort of, again, manufacturing drama for the sake of drama. And those aren't satisfying. But these feel really true, and particularly 7's moment here. I will ask you all, though, to correct me if I'm wrong. If indeed in Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 10, First Contact. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry, not that one. Season 1, Episode 10, No Small Parts. Cerritos rescued by the Titan during the Packlet attack. Is that where we first hear Riker give the jazz countdown 5, 6, 7, 8?
I believe so.
That automatically is the winner for me. So all other answers are gone, and
that's
I have
fair.
to go with that.
Okay, right. John is writing a choice in.
Yep, that's it. So
You're writing.
It's our after show, so
it is.
That's right. We get to do what we want.
Yeah, and by the way, the word here, I saw it a moment ago, but from Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, and I believe somebody said that they will capitulate to our demands. So,
beautiful. Let's go.
Start, you've got a drink. I should have gotten a drink. We're going to make more demands. So, yeah.
Next year's going to be so lit, guys.
Oh, exactly. All right. Going to move us along here
it's the reaction show.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. All right. So most shocking betrayal in Star Trek. We have Ro Laren in Preemptive Strike, TNG. Michael Eddington in DS9 for the uniform, Thomas Riker in DS9 Defiant, Gul Dukat joining the Dominion fleet in By Inferno's Light, Seska, just Seska.
Seska, that's all you got to say.
Yeah, likewise, Valeris, just Valeris in Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, Ash Tyler, The Wolf Inside, Gabriel Lorca in Vaulting Ambition. So now the audience picked Michael Eddington. These are some good choices here in this category about shocking betrayal. Yeah. So how do we feel about that? Or do we feel like Michael Eddington was kind of kind of a sketchy dude, and we're like, this guy is going to betray everybody any minute now.
He gave everyone that vibe, didn't he?
Mhm,
Because
yeah.
I remember thinking,
Strong vibes of betrayal right from the
but I
beginning.
also assumed he would win this category, even
He
though
did.
I personally feel
Yeah.
like Seska, man, and I know that it's for specific episodes, but like Seska overall, she was just such a great villain to hate. And maybe that's Martha Hackett making it just so amazing for me. But yeah, no, these are some really good nominations, but I can understand why the votes went the way they did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course, it's about betrayal, so it's like a turn or a spin. Yeah, I knew something was iffy with that Eddington. I just didn't think betrayal was what it was going to be about. That's a to me. Okay, do I go out on a limb here?
Yeah,
To me,
please.
that's almost
Yeah.
like the weakest of all of these nominees. But
Hmm.
and I love
Oh.
DS9. Don't accuse me of non-DS9. And I don't know how I would rank them, but and I'm sitting here looking like who I would rather have had instead because they're all over the map. But boy, it sure wouldn't have been Michael Eddington. But he's obviously somebody that did a switch, did a betrayal, flipped on people. But
Look,
yeah.
it's not hard to believe that Gul Dukat is going to betray anybody.
Right. He's
So,
looking
like,
Yeah.
that's
right.
that's
a
just given. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That is thy name is Gul Dukat betrayal. Lorca. All right. Now, I will say this though, that somebody who I work for, whose name rhymes with Rod Roddenberry, spoiled the
Mhm.
entire Lorca thing for me. So that, yeah, not cool.
That
So
took the wind out of that sail, huh?
yeah. But I loved Lorca, and I still, even with that, I wanted to believe that he was who he said he was from the beginning, because I just thought that was such a cool character. And I'm still holding out hope that the real Gabriel Lorca, Gabriel Prime, will show up one day. Maybe.
Yes,
you
that
know?
needs to
See?
happen.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs is so good.
He's so
That would
damn
be
good.
so great to see what he's like as just the regular Lorca.
And he's not
Yeah.
opposed to the idea either.
See, there you
Right?
go. There you go. Yeah.
Come on, writers.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't been receptive to other ideas that are popular with the fans before. So
Right.
But poor Tom
Exactly.
Riker is languishing away in whoever.
Yeah.
No, they've all been wiped out or defeated. So I don't know whose prison he's languishing in, but I'd still love to see Thomas Riker pop. That was
Yeah,
always
what is he
hanging
up
out there.
to?
Right.
Right.
yeah,
Maybe
that
they're
was
gonna go-
my choice for this category was Thomas Riker. I remember feeling when this aired way back when, like, wait, he's going to do what? He's going to join the Maquis?
There you go.
You know, I just had that kind of moment.
Surprise.
It
Yeah.
made sense, but at the same time, like it was shocking to me. Seska, her betrayal was not shocking. What was shocking was the fact that she wasn't a Cardassian.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a betrayal. That was just shocking.
That was just shock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. And look, I have very mixed feelings about Valeris, because seeing that movie when it was new, and I was like, oh my God, but it's Kim Cattrall and she's so gorgeous. And I am just in love with this icy, non-emotional, unavailable woman. And then she turns out to be the bad guy. I'm like, but I still like her. So it's, that
So
one
there's
is,
a conundrum.
close
Yeah,
to the
that's
heart.
tough. That's
close
tough.
to the heart for me. Yeah.
That is. Well, the reason why Valeris was a bit of a giveaway is because she was the new character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that-
Had it been Savick, that would have felt
Now
like
that would have
a
had a lot more
shocking
weight.
betrayal.
Right.
That would have been a
Yeah,
shocking betrayal.
absolutely. Ash Tyler, I'm sorry. No, that was not shocking at all.
Yeah. I think we know. All right. Well, let's move forward then. So I believe, Shar, it is up to you now for the favorite. Oh, this is lovely. Favorite singing moment.
Oh, man.
in Star Trek.
Again, big
Wait.
list
Hang on.
contenders.
Scanning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Please go right ahead.
You all right? You good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I got
Okay.
words when we come back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
we have Kira Nerys singing Fever in DS9's His Way, Vic Fontaine and I'll Be Seeing You in The Siege of AR-558, Ben Sisko and Vic Fontaine singing The Best Is Yet to Come in Bada Bing, Bada Bang. 7, the EMH Doctor singing You Are My Sunshine in Someone to Watch Over Me. The EMH Doctor's Ponfar version of La Donna Immobile, season 6, episode 4, Tinker Tenor, Dr. Spy. and Data singing Life Forms in Generations, Picard, Data, and Worf singing A British Tar in Insurrection, and Data singing Blue Skies in Nemesis. Whew. Them's the good ones.
Real quick,
Okay.
this is
And the
all
winner
Star Trek.
was
Oh, go ahead.
The Best Is Yet to Come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a surprise, but there's some really good arguments you can make with this one.
What this immediately made me think of is this is all Star Trek it was open to, this category, but none of the new series. Like, does no one sing in new Star Trek?
Well, we did have a disco party, literally a disco party in disco.
That was amazing.
There's
It
no
was.
singing, but I loved that moment. I wanted
We've
more
had
of it.
dancing, but I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah, no
dancing.
singing.
Well, we have Blue Skies in Picard,
Ooh, okay.
but that didn't get
That
didn't get into the
right.
nominations.
Right. They
Look,
were
all I
the
can say
original
is that
Nemesis.
the choices here feel a bit confining. Like stiff man putting my mind in jail. The judge bang the gavel and say no bail. Gonna lick his hand and wag my tail. No love for space hippies. No. All right.
Herbert.
Or
All right,
landmark
all
musical
right, because
moment.
that's what
do we
we're
got?
missing here. We're missing some space hippie time.
Or any of Uhura's, recital moments, concert.
Oh,
moments
yeah.
on the rec
That's
deck.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Not
Yeah.
enough room, though, I guess. So many good selections. Not enough
Oh,
room.
you know what? Here's my missing one. O'Brien singing The Minstrel Boy.
Oh, yeah.
To
Oh,
captain,
yeah.
to his former
I mean,
captain.
and something
Yeah.
we'll never know about Voyager's talent night. We're never going to know what happened at Voyager's talent night.
We just know that everybody had a lot of fun.
Well,
Yep.
That's very true. Yeah. It is impossible to argue with Cisco and Vic singing The Best Is Yet to Come. It is such a great moment. I think dramatically, I do love, the Siege of AR 558 is such an incredible episode, and the use of music in that is amazing. It is inspired. And you can't help but have the warm fuzzies when Seven and the Doctor sing You Are My Sunshine. So these are tough to choose from, but I think everybody got it right. And I will say that the British Tar is, I look,
Me
I
not.
thought I liked that scene for about a second, and then I stopped thinking that I liked that scene. Yeah.
I actually like the alternate Picard singing Hearts of Oak in, I forget what it was. It's when they've been
Oh.
kidnapped and the false Picard is on the bridge
Oh,
and he's buying
yeah.
round of ales for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's another good
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. Can we write in that guy Pogo, who does the on YouTube, did the Picard Data song?
Oh,
It's-
yes.
Yeah, just write in that guy. That is the best Star Trek singing moment.
That is the winner.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. It might have gotten
So
taken down
catchy.
for copyright violation at some point. Whatever. Just like go find it, because that guy rules. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Dramatically-
go ahead, Larry.
I was going to say real quick, you said dramatically on the winner here, but remember Cisco started off that episode refusing to go in and see Vic and see the whole 60s Vegas
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
milieu just
Yeah.
because of the racist past. So it's
Yeah.
really kind of the completion of an arc when they're actually down there. It's not just a cool moment. It's
Yeah,
actually
great point.
the end of an
Yeah.
arc. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't continuously
to
get
Pull
emails about
something
that one.
serious,
Yeah.
some morals meetings messages in there on you, but
Yeah, yeah. I got a whole file full of emails about that. Yeah, all right.
Oh,
Let's-
no.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, Bree.
I'm glad we're not checking like Twitter right now. I bet
I-
a lot of folks are correcting us on stuff. So
I'm
we've got
sure.
the scariest moment, or sorry, scariest episode of Star Trek is
There
the
we
next
go.
one.
Ooh.
Yes.
And as a greatest gen viewer myself, I'm excited to say schisms.
Schisms!
Yeah, I don't have a drop for that, but I know John does his own drop for it as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Frame of Mind, Empok Noir, The Darkness and the Light, The Thaw, and Impulse. So these are all really pretty scary ones. Of course, we got a winner with DS9. But what did you all think about this?
Hang on. I'm sorry. Empok Nor won.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. I'm doing my Empok Nor imitation. And
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. have a very-
just like
we
a
have
dead
a-
sister space station. Yes.
Yeah, we have a robust effects budget here at Roddenberry Entertainment.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Schisms still creeps me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one creeped me out even as a young kid. Well, I shouldn't say young, but
Well,
a
yeah, like
kid, that
as
one
a
did creep me
10-year-old
out. Yeah.
watching it,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it gave me nightmares.
Larry?
And if you don't like clowns, The Thaw
Mm.
is for
See,
you.
The Thaw is funny. The Thaw either
Oh, I
makes
love The
people
Thaw.
loving it or they hate it. It's really
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
how that's because it is. He's a psychopath. He's a perfectly well-drawn narcissistic psychopath. What am I? Oh, good grief! I always think of it's the one that Gates directed, but it's Spider Barkley.
Oh, Genesis.
Genesis.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
I went
Genesis?
blank.
Genesis.
don't do
Sorry, I
that.
had to.
Of course you did. Of course. Yeah.
You had to.
It's
had to.
required.
Are you doing the bar guy from Star Trek 3?
Yeah.
She did it
Okay, that's
perfectly.
what-
But it allowed
Yeah.
us not.
That's what that's
Planet
Ollie's
forbidden.
thing. That's Ollie's thing on life support. He always launches into the Genesis alien. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, ever since Brandon called the aliens on Schisms fish monks, because they didn't have the fog on the set and they weren't supposed to be revealed.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. The scarier part of Schisms to me is when everyone's in the holodeck creating the table bit by bit and they're talking about the knife hanging.
Yeah.
Some of those were more chilling than the
That
the
was
actual-
wild.
Yeah, it was. It was a thing. No, I think aside from maybe, even though it was a little hoked up, it's not the whole episode because it was a movie, obviously. But one of the moments that never gets talked about in Wrath of Khan is when McCoy and Savick are walking through
Oh,
Gamma
yeah.
Regula, and it's a token movie.
Yeah.
Turn around and jump into the dead hand.
Yeah.
Bit. But
It's
when
a good
McCoy
jump
hits
scare.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a great jump scare, but it's just that one moment. It's not the whole episode. This was fine. Yeah. Impulse
of Wrath
always
of
felt to me
Khan.
like it was supposed to be the
Mhm.
scary one with the zombie. It was the Vulcan
Mhm.
zombies, and that's how everybody talked about it. And it was like, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about the scene in Wrath of Khan with the ear,
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
you know,
yes,
and the
yes.
bug going into Chekhov's ear?
Yeah.
Come on, that's
Oh, that.
Scary as hell.
oh, terrifying.
Also, write in for Move Along Home and Profit and Lace. I'm going to write those in as
Okay.
scariest episodes of Star Trek.
Good choices. Yes, I
You're welcome.
agree.
Tone to scary, I think you're going for. Yes,
Look,
totally agree.
I'm rewriting it as we go. So yeah, yeah. All right, let's see. So Larry, you are going to talk to us. Ooh, this is a very interesting category. Best Star Trek documentary.
Right, a little out of the beaten path, but still.
Mhm.
Best Star Trek documentary. Trekkies, the original Trekkies, 97. The Captains, Shatner's documentary with all the captains. Chaos on the Bridge. I love that.
Mm.
Stop editorializing, Larry. For the Love of Spock, Adam Nimoy's story about his dad. What We Left Behind, the DS9 documentary. And Women in Motion, the Nichelle Nichols NASA epic.
Hmm.
Also good.
Yes, these are all, well,
Well, okay.
Okay, Larry has
five
thoughts?
of them. Five
Yeah.
of them are great.
So what we left
Larry,
behind
share
one.
with us.
Yeah, but talk to
Oh,
us,
John.
Larry. No, I was say what we
okay.
left behind one.
Yes,
So,
sorry
go
about
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, I was so wrapped up. No, of all of these, Nichelle's story, I love it being told with NASA. That's great. What We Left Behind is an amazing example. I have so many friends who are they're not only not DS9 fans, they're not Star Trek fans, and they loved What We Left Behind. For the Love of Spock is a great documentary and it came from Adam, his son. And The Captains was a really good sit down and in its time, that kind of thing hadn't been done before. So it was great to see them all talking.
Yeah, it was so great to capture all of those interviews.
My favorite for all of these, and there's emotional beats in all of these, but my favorite for the service that it did for the world of research. I love how Dave Zappone and his team, Chaos on the Bridge. Number one, they got Maury Hurley to talk on camera.
That's
A few
true.
months before he died. And I finally said,
Yeah,
"How did
that
you
was
do
wild.
And he said he knew Shatner, and we just threw a lot of money at him. But he did it basically because he knew Shatner. But I just appreciate Chaos on the Bridge for going into a totally unexplored area and getting people to talk about something that, and believe me, I know, because I try to get people to talk about it at different times over the years, and then people are not with us anymore to talk about it. So I just look at Chaos on the Bridge as a great example. And people, they went with that cartoon motif because there is no photo of Leonard Maizlish, Gene Roddenberry's infamous attorney.
Mhm.
And what they did with that cartoon technique. So I'm gushing. I will always gush about Chaos on the Bridge, which is my dark horse. So if we're going to have a dark horse in this whole show tonight, that's mine. And then I will just say, Trekkies, I was in a test audience for Trekkies at the time. It was promised to be showing us the crazy and the wonderful of Star Trek, and I felt like it was 99% crazy and 1% wonderful.
Okay.
And this Trekkies 2 was a much more, it was global fandom, but I thought it was much better on the beat about what they could have done with the first one. But there you go.
All right. And hey, Roger teased a Trekkies 3 a while back, so who knows?
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I love Roger Nygaard. He's great. And of course,
I would
Denise
love
worked
to get an
on him,
update
too.
to that.
Right. Okay. So how do the two of you feel? Bree, Shar,
I was indulging there. So
yeah, no, that's good because like you've been a part of these. So yeah.
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 Got an insight.
Well, like I mentioned in the chat, I can't wait for the Voyager doc, but of course that'll have to be at a future LLAPy Awards.
Right.
They're all great. And I really did enjoy the captains because I thought it captured some really great interviews. And I know that Larry appreciates that we get these interviews down before these people aren't with us anymore. But all of them are so great. And I just recently rewatched Women in Motion, and how fun. I mean, all great nominations for sure.
Yeah. I'm not surprised though that What We Left Behind got the win. It's probably the most watched of all of these just because it had a theater release. It had a really successful Kickstarter. And I think it just got the most buzz overall. Yeah. Although in the day, the captains was a big thing, but even social media wasn't quite the same as it is now or in 2018.
Yeah.
So not surprised at all, not disappointed. And that's about it. I've watched them all. I love them all for what they are. And I can't wait for the Voyager documentary either.
I'll throw out a recommendation for one that's not on the list here, and it came out several years ago called Mind Meld. And it's just Shatner and Nimoy talking. And it's great because you don't have all the cutting away. You don't have all the other alternative points of view. You just kind of get a feeling for their professional relationship and their friendship as it was at that specific time. So it's very good. And I've it was on DVD years ago, so you can probably still find it relatively easily. But I think that one tends to get overlooked. So
it's two guys sitting in lawn chairs in the backyard.
Yeah, literally just talking. And it's kind of great. It feels honest as that kind of pretense can be. So let's move along to, I love this category. Best Star Trek movie, visual effects for its time. Star Trek the Motion Picture, 1979. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, 1982. Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, 1986. Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country, 1991. Star Trek First Contact, 1996. And Star Trek 2009. Now, the winner is First Contact. And I have thoughts. I'm going to kick it over to you guys first. Shar, how do you feel about this?
My vote went to Star Trek the Motion Picture because
you're correct. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And it's hard as more time goes by to remember just what an achievement those special effects were, because it's nothing today to create something like that. But back then, that was just a powerhouse. You hadn't seen the likes of something like that before. So it was Novell. It was amazing. It was Star Trek. And so for that, I mean, I love all the other films, but special effects wise, I don't feel like they're doing anything that's really so crazy. And Star Trek the Motion Picture had to set the bar.
Yeah. Bree, Larry?
I want to know Larry's opinion. I have not heard Larry talk about this.
I'm going to echo pretty much what Char said. I would say I'm with you on the motion picture, because it's not just that the motion picture was in its, and I love the way this is worded, for its time. So thank you for that, gang who put these together. But the motion picture was not just competing. It's the reason it was made. It's not just competing with Star Wars and Close Encounters and all the big boom of the higher end boom of sci-fi movies that got the sci-fi craze going and helped kickstart motion picture into happening. It's not just that they were competing with those, because a lot of people, by then the burgeoning fandoms and the visual effects, they're like, oh, well, this was a little disappointing. Although V'ger is amazing, and some of the effects and Spock's spacewalk, and there's some really mind-blowing bits in there, even though there was all
there's so many sequences.
Right. But it was competing with itself. it was competing with the original series and people's expectations of what would 10 years and now we've lived through this sci-fi. It wasn't even competing with that. It was like, how much can we give the fans? And so every time anyone makes fun of the infamous space the
the 7-minute sequence,
the 7-minute sequence, and people go, they make fun of it. It's a meme. It's whatever. I go, no, that was like 12 years of waiting, 10 years of waiting. That was.
I think we need more
for,
of this in Lower Decks, though. I mean,
spin.
Oh, totally. It's totally fine. It's totally germane for Lower Decks to take it on. But motion picture was awesome on 2 levels. It was competing with the expectation of the world, and it was also competing with people. What can you give us after 10 years in a movie budget? Now, having said that, I think I would say for its time, and a little bit the same way. And First Contact, I loved. I was there when they made it. It was incredible. All the people on visual effects and art, ILM did it. It was great. But I'm going to say that one of the things that, aside from the casting, Star Trek 09 did kind of blow up everybody by the same frame that motion picture did in its time, I would say. 09 said, okay, here's what a modern Star Trek with budget and not cobbling along that Rick and Herman Zimmerman and ILM had to do with all the next gen movies, much less the original series movies. But they had a quantum leap ahead in what they could spend on visual effects. And they're trying to compete with all the modern visual, and they did. It's amazing. I don't agree with the choices with the story took the design, but you cannot deny that it's not an impressive movie. And
and I feel like that helped us get more Trek down the line.
Yep.
So I appreciate it for doing that and showing that we could be more modern in the effects and everything. But I do remember seeing First Contact in the theater, and I was just taken in by the score. I thought Franks did a really great job directing. And I remember being like, wow, this is so great. But yeah, I would probably vote for 2009 just for the fact that I feel like it really stepped up Star Trek to a next level. And now
we're only talking about visual effects.
Yes,
so,
but it really picked it up and showed, I'm kind of, you're right, though. You're right. Visual effects. I always get pulled in by the score. That's always something that I'm guilty of.
We need a
It's
score.
good.
Put this down.
fair.
We need a score category. We need a score.
Yes.
But
I
on an
like that for
emotional
next
level,
year.
The Borg Queen is everything about the Borg Queen, and Dave Blass talked about this from First Contact, was imaginative and out of the box and had never been seen before.
Right.
But even
It's
then, they had
cool.
limits on what they could do. Things had turned around so much. The Borg Queen on Voyager got to do things that they wanted to do on First Contact and didn't have the money to do, which is amazing.
Great point.
On TV later, 5 years later. They did.
Right.
The
But-
technology
and
was
I-
changing so fast.
I was totally blown away in Picard, and this is a spoiler. Please cover your ears. But when the Borg Queen reappeared and they played kind of a background that was the First Contact background to the Borg, I was like, whoa. So you're right. I like it is. We're supposed to be talking about one thing, and of course, I'm always getting pulled in by all of it. I'm guilty.
Well,
of that,
2009
for sure.
has great emotional weight, Bree, because it was that very needed shot in the arm at a time when Star Trek was on the brink of pretty much being dead.
Yep.
It could have gone either way, and without that, we wouldn't be here talking probably.
Well, we would, but nobody would be listening, and
Right, nobody would be watching. We'd be talking though. Yeah,
we'd be talking.
that's true.
Look, there's only one correct answer to this category, and that is Star Trek: The Motion Picture, 1979. Moving on. So,
Okay.
All right, Char, you're gonna let's see. It's our last few categories here. You are going to tell us about the favorite reintroduced Star Trek: The Original Series character. Go to it.
All right, we have Spock, Sarek, Vina, Harry Mudd, Stella, Amanda Grayson, Christopher Pike, and Una, aka Number One. All good choices, but Christopher Pike takes it. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
That introduction, yeah, I like me some Anson Mount.
Well, hey, let's remember though Bruce Greenwood, because we were just talking about
Sure,
09.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
I'm
like-
thinking we're talking TV though, yeah?
Well, it's just a reintroduced character. So
And
true.
Pike on
Yeah.
both levels there. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I'm done with Sarek's poor attempt at fatherhood.
Yeah.
Spock is Spock. He's great. I have no dislike of Spock or any of the actors who have played him since Leonard Nimoy. Vina, I felt like was an unnecessary reinvention. It's like I knew the Pike story on Talos 4. I didn't.
Yeah, but you know what? That performance was really good.
She was really good. Was it necessary?
Okay, that's debatable.
Okay, I'll go back.
But
and
we,
rewatch.
we got to keep moving here.
Yeah. I would say, Harry Mudd, Rainn Wilson as Harry Mudd definitely gave more dimension to that character than just what we had of TOS and TAS. And I think that was necessary. You needed some more levels to him. Otherwise, he would just be the kind of the cartoonish, two-dimensional. Stella, don't care. Amanda Grayson, come on, the Spock family is a mess. Let's just leave them alone. And I love what Rebecca Romaine has done as number one. Like, talk about a character that, okay, for a time there, the only Pike and number one we ever had was just the Cage. We got a little more Pike with 09. We got much more Pike with Discovery, but then we just got a taste of a new number one. And there's so much to bring to that character. I greatly look forward to everything we got out of her in Strange
Hard
New
agree.
Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Hard agree. I had just read the 50th anniversary trilogy books, where one really focused on number one. And I was like thirsty for more number one. So having her appear in the series, I was just like, yes, I'm thirsty for this. I want more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Larry, strong feeling here before we move along?
I knew Christopher Pike would win. Part of this is about screen time, though.
Yeah.
Like some of these
True.
follow-ups didn't have any screen time, especially Vina and Stella. And although Stella was my stalking horse, dark horse, but okay, fine.
Okay. Fair.
No, not a surprise, and that's as good a choice as anyway. But as Star Trek unrolls, keeps on. Who knows what we're going to see coming up? So,
Yeah.
All
stay
right.
tuned.
All right, Bree, you've got best episode of a little bit broader category here for New Trek 2017 to 2019.
Yeah, and this one is tougher for me because my screen just went dark. I was about to say Battle of the Binary Stars, but that's all I can remember. So I'll hold up my greatest gen and hope that somebody else has the sheet in front of them, since my
Good.
phone is
I
not.
got you, Bree.
All right.
Thank you. Technical difficulties. We're live.
Oh, my.
All right.
So after Battle of the Binary Stars, we also had Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad, New Eden, and Obel for Charon, If Memory Serves, The Red Angel, Calypso, and The Trouble with Edward. And The Red Angel took it. This is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Like an interesting selection. And I don't know. Yeah, but nah. I really love Calypso as a short trek.
That's great.
It was, yeah.
And that's ultimately what I voted for, but I can make arguments for others in this list too.
Yeah, Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. That one really resonated with me because I felt like it was a real Star Trek number that I wanted to see redone, and I thought it was redone really well.
And it was fun.
Larry looks like he's got opinions on this.
No, what makes me, I haven't thought about this kind of a best episode of the first year. I just remember thinking Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad was the most imaginative, well put together. I think they're finally starting to hit their groove 7 episodes in. Of course, it was a troubled launch of the series. But then I also remember thinking at the time, New Eden was finally a Star Trek show where it's an away mission. They're on a planet. There's a mystery. It's even harking back to World War III. I remember thinking at the time, it got Awoshikan into the away. They're actually using the bridge crew as something besides reaction shots. They're letting people take part in the action. And then the rest of them had the Red Angel, though. There's bits of, as much as we love the DS9 serial war shows, there's bits of those where there are 5 plots going on, and it's just they're all progressing along. And the poor, the writers were in a daze trying to remember what was in what show to where we were to build on, because things would get moved around. And the whole Red Angel plot to me is like, okay, is this the Red Angel hearing about it, the Red Angel putting it on, the Red Angel launching it? Is the Red Angel finding out it's her mother? Spoilers. Is it, where on that? So I can't even think where along the Red Angel was, because I haven't gone through these 5 times yet. But I just don't have to be the trouble with Edward.
Yeah.
Um,
The trouble is that, modern Trek is built on these long arcs, and it's
Mhm.
very difficult to pick a single episode as a best.
Great
Magic to
point.
Make the Sanest Man Go Mad stood out because it was a very standalone
Yes.
episode. So we
Right.
all appreciated that. I
Yeah.
get it. I do think Battle of the Binary Stars, very strong opening for a disco, so that makes sense. But and Calypso, I just thought was so beautiful and thoughtful. Like that really worked on its own
and
as a
out
bit of
there.
yeah, and out there. It's just a bit of mind bleepery, as we say on Mission Log. Like that, it absolutely works. But I have to come back to New Eden because it just felt like classic Trek. It was our first really big taste of what Pike would be like in a command position in this kind of classic story.
Yep.
That worked for me, and I wanted more of that. Maybe we'll get more of that in Strange New Worlds. We shall see. So, yeah. All right. So, let's say, Bree, do you have your list back up? Or
Let's see here. No, it's still
No?
loading. Like it's loading all the pages, but the last two.
Okay. All right. So, Larry, I will have you tell us about favorite moment of 2017-2019 Trek.
Right. We're still in the first 2 seasons of Discovery only, is
Yep.
what all these are about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So favorite moment of the first 2 seasons of old Discovery, Blue Shirt
All right.
Discovery,
Classic Discovery.
classic Discovery, legacy Discovery. Favorite moments. Culber and Stamets in the pajamas, brushing teeth in their maroon pajamas. That's number 1. The Enterprise is first revealed with the TOS style end music, season 1, episode 15, the finale of season 1. The Discovery crew meets Captain Pike in episode 1 of season 2. The Discovery landing party meets Jet Reno in that same episode. The previously on Star Trek recap with the original TOS footage from the menagerie and in Discovery. And Pike has the vision of the future using the Klingon time crystals. The winner here is the Enterprise is first revealed at the tail of the first season of Enterprise in the finale. That was the winner. As for the category, favorite moment of first 2 seasons of Discovery. And short treks. I believe short treks are in there too.
I'd like to know the numbers on this one because it seems like this would be a toss-up. These are all really strong, good moments worthy of contention.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick anyone at random and think, yeah, okay.
Culber and Stamets is important because it's so normal.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what's so
there's
great
just
about it.
Something
It
really
was normal
lovely.
until it was creepy, until the mirror scene, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
There was
okay.
that whole thing.
Okay, there
But
is
you're
that.
right. I
Yeah.
just thought that was beautiful. I don't think we get enough like everyday ship moments between,
Yes.
even just all of them.
Yeah.
But
the
the 2 of them, it was really great.
The thing that I appreciate about the Enterprise reveal is that when they wrote that, they didn't know where they were going with it. It was just literally like, okay, and then all this stuff happens, and then there's the Enterprise. Okay, everybody, we're going home, and see you next. But sometimes, great TV is written that way. It's like going back to Best of Both Worlds, where you literally just write the cliffhanger. You have no idea how you're getting out of it, and then you go away for a couple of months and come back and try to write
Worst
your way
summer
out of it.
break ever.
Right, right. So I appreciate that kind of thing. But I have to say, there was something cool about the previously on Star Trek recap.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned Vina a moment ago. I didn't love the idea of going back to Talos 4 because I felt like we know so little about Christopher Pike. We don't need to just retell the story that we already know about Christopher Pike. There is so much other opportunity to explore here. So I didn't really get it. But if you're going to do it, I like the signal that opening sent to the audience, which was to say, guys and ladies and everybody who can hear it and watch us, this is Star Trek, okay? Use your imagination, because what we're doing is we're connecting all these dots and we're telling stories that continue and evolve. So don't lose it over things looking a little different, actors being different. This is the story that we're telling, okay? Get a grip. Now let's continue with the story. So there was something very cool about that opening. And
It boldly went.
it
John.
boldly went. So I appreciate the the sort of, it was like Star Trek writers putting their foot down and saying, no, this is Star Trek. We get it. We've seen Star Trek. Okay, here's what's happening. So I like that moment.
I want to give some love to Jet Reno.
Yeah.
Her introduction was great, and Tig Notaro is the perfect person to portray that character, and I simply cannot get enough of Jet Reno on Discovery.
She's pretty great. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Even with that limited availability, right?
Right.
You have to write for it.
All right, let's move forward here because we're coming up on the end. Thank you for everybody who has been sticking around. But most interesting character in 2017-2019 Star Trek. We got Michael Burnham. We got Philippa Georgiou. We got Christopher Pike. We got Jet Reno. We got Saru. And we've got Sylvia Tilly. Now, the winner here is Saru. I don't think that's a big surprise to anyone.
Not really.
No.
My vote went to Jet Reno for reasons, but Saru is a favorite.
Yeah.
The only alien in this list. So you've got not only exploring the character, but all that brings up. He's pioneering a race, a culture. So we've had all that mixed in with the popularity and the appeal and the tease to the writers to jump in and explore his background. So yeah, not a big surprise here.
And Doug Jones is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely a treasure to sci-fi and to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That does it then. And that brings us to our final category.
Oh my
that
God.
Is back to you, Char.
Okay, we get the last one.
I love this for supporting bridge officer / character appearing in Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah. Important note, 2017 to 2019 here.
Yes.
And we had Ronald Bryce, Jen Reese, Kayla Detmer, Joanne, Owasikan, Ariam, Nan, Nilsson, Linus, and Osnilus. Now, Joanne got it. And I saw her accept the award during the last
So much
It was
fun.
So
Fabulous.
Cool to see her there.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Is this a surprise, or did you have any other candidate that you would have liked to have seen one?
I went with Kayla Detmer because we saw, I think, a little more of her in this particular era of Discovery. Now, if we were voting for Discovery up to 2022, yes, this would have been my choice.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because she finally got more screen time.
Yeah.
But you're right. Kayla Detmer was the only one they even gave a nod to having any bit about, with a little bit.
Really? Yeah.
Was her, you realize that she was on the Shenzhou. And she had her eye repair device.
Yeah.
Afterwards, there was that implied, and I'm trying to remember when the PTSD aspect. I think that may not have been until season.
I think
3.
it was season 3.
Yeah. So not even that's out the window. But yeah, there's moments where she's at least in the mess hall when something else happens and gets to react to it.
Right. I mean, even Linus has more lines than a lot of these nominees.
Right. Well, and this Lieutenant Christopher this last year has gotten so many lines, and I'm like, but I want to still hear from the OGs. Like, I still haven't gotten enough at the OGs. No offense, Lieutenant Christopher, but I want more of the other folks that I've been waiting years to hear from now.
Well, Christopher's filling in for the actor that Ron Bryce.
I know, but he's getting all this react time. No offense, but he's getting a lot of react time, and I'd rather have the Detmer like looks at each other.
Getting all the Sulu lines because George is off doing the Green Berets movie.
Exactly.
Good point.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, look, Owo is so great, and Ariam, it's one of those missed opportunities where if we had built up Ariam enough in the first season, then everything that happened in season 2 would have felt more earned. But instead, they just condensed all this drama into this one episode, so it didn't feel earned. I didn't think it was a bad story, but it didn't feel as earned as it should have. I really love Nan, but the better stuff with Nan we've gotten later, and of course, Linus. I want a Linus action figure.
Yes,
I want a Linus
please.
lunchbox. I want all the Linus merch.
All the merch.
Get on an Eagle Moss, make a bust of Linus. You can do it.
See Star Trek Wines making Sorry and branding and having Linus?
Oh my goodness!
There we go.
Come on.
This stuff writes itself. Okay?
It does.
Yeah. So
why aren't we in charge of this?
That's a scene on the
Exactly.
We have ideas.
Yeah.
We have ideas. And, this after show is supposed to be, an hour? And of course, we got started a
we're
little
over
late.
2 hours now
Yeah.
as of the official
yeah.
start. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine
Late
if we were
start
helping
also.
with products at CES?
Right.
I don't know if that would be good for us.
So there is some
We
programming
have to
that
really
is
like our
going on.
jobs.
There is some programming that's going on right now. The Dan Curry interview is being rerun, and then I think Doug's is being rerun after that. So we have stayed a little bit longer than originally planned. And thank you to Ryan, and thank you to Dr. Anne Marie for letting us stick around and continue to chat with you. I mean, like, and a little, Adam, how much is the check in the mail for that?
little
I
Adam,
hope.
okay.
I hope. So thank you to everybody. Any kind of last thoughts here or parting shots about the awards? I'm just taking a look here really quickly in the chat to see what other folks are saying before we end this.
This was way more fun than I expected it to be. When they
Yes.
announced it, I was like, this is a cute idea. But then I really got into it and I enjoyed watching all the programming, and all these folks volunteered their time to make this programming free. So, I mean, what a cool fandom to be a part of, that all of this happened and got put together by fans, and really appreciative of everyone that was involved. Very cool, and a neat way of doing something for the fandom.
Just got to echo what you said. Thank you to everybody who organized this, made it run. You guys worked your rear ends off to make it happen. And just thank you, because it's been a really fun weekend. There's been some fantastic panels, and there's some that I'm going to go back and rewatch on top of the ones that I hadn't been able to watch live. And I'm going to watch those too. So much good content in one action-packed weekend. You guys did great. Thank you.
And by the way, just sharing a couple of the comments that are here in the chat. Portia says, thank you, Bree, Charlynn, John, and Larry. Thank you to Virtual TrekCon 3 and Chat Pack. Hope everyone has a great night. Anne-Marie says, thank you. That was, I think, our thanks to her for letting us stay late. And Ram says, thanks to all four of you for such a great discussion. I appreciate this. You are very welcome. Thank you for the compliment. And oh my God, they're just going so fast here. There's somebody with a hashtag greatest gen. By the way, late breaking news. There was a category that did not make it to the list, and that was Best Star Trek Podcast. And apparently it was a tie between Greatest Generation and Mission Log, but mostly Mission Log. So I don't know what to make of those numbers. I just read what they put in front of me. I have no control over it. So
I want to get those voting documents and then look at it on Trek Files and bring in.
Maybe we should. Maybe we could do some forensic analysis, but like 40 years from now. And then we'll get to the bottom of it.
Then we find out who really won.
Then we'll know.
I'm here for
the
this.
big conspiracy.
Is
Yes.
Leonard Mays' secret grandson.
The Mission
involved with
Log
that
conspiracy.
counting? Is that what's happening?
Right. All right. Thank you to the three of you. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. Thanks to everybody who's been a part of Virtual TrekCon. And I guess we'll do this in another year. All right.
Hey, that would be great.
Take care, everyone. Live long and prosper. Till next time.
All right. Thank you.